man, just back at it again.
Yeah, and I'ma work cause I ain't going out lazy, bruh. Thought he was conscious, but his homie just played me, bruh. The house of consciousness is going out crazy, bruh. They crazy, bruh. Alright, it's getting kinda dirty in these YouTube streets. The Amin Ra squad, God thinking you dudes weak. Islam or Judaism, where you learn what you dudes teach. The West African rappers slapping with that voodoo speech. All that sub-Saharan terror about a cuckoo feet. I'm like Norma, that agricultural farmer that grew you wheat for the storehouses. We feed the Hebrews and lead the people when we defeat the feeble. They wanna know polite rip me off, but Sonetta paid me my money though. That mean he 100. And I'ma work cause I ain't going out lazy, bruh. Thought he was conscious, but his homie just played me, bruh. The house of consciousness is going out crazy, bruh. They crazy, bruh. Nubian with the Jews, I rock the pinky. I think Jesus got to save me. A doctor save me, a Dr. Inky. I cop the copper jewels all blue and red. I'm not the chakra doctor, y'all claim woke. But you in bed, you won't pop a chopper, you Grandmaster J. You just talking. Punks turn the other cheek and you will walk away. Y'all gon' have to pardon my Moorish. That's Taharka Bay. I'm on that black African power on my darkest day. And that's my brother Ankh stomping them other punks. We brought them gators to Italy, you loving the Moors. And now I'm teaching from my shrine like brother Jabari. Scoping the savannah cause I'm on another safari. Tasha K showed us Frank record. Young Pharaoh just losing his mind and y'all can't help him. I know one thing, you're a fool if you're still out here donating to Umar school. That shit cool. And I'ma work cause I ain't going out lazy, bruh. Thought he was conscious, but his homie just played me, bruh. The house of consciousness is going out crazy, bruh. They crazy, bruh. Look. You showing your hidden colors like Tariq Nasheed. A bunch of pseudo-information I don't think I need. Probably lying on the text, ask to find a Zion Lax. Just get that microphone ready. With Metal Netta, I'm Stone Jetty. A Ujahu, a Saw Imhotep. Y'all probably timid still on them Bobby Hemmett teachings. I'm in Gozy with the DNA. Cats corny and it's killing me too. You talk that black shit, but you look Arab like Gorilla Hebrew. You need therapy, they telling me just chillin', be cool. I'm a madjai orchard, you a sad guy talking.
Man,
and I'm a work cause I ain't going out lazy, bruh. Thought he was conscious, but his homie just played me, bruh. The house of consciousness is going out crazy, bruh. They crazy, bruh.
Alright, y'all wanna know what I'm doing? I'm putting some oil on the blunt right now. That's what I'm doing. Yeah. We gonna go on and vibe out though. Hold on. Use them good tunes to bring some nice vibes to the community. You know how we do. What's up with it? Play another blapper real quick.
Black people, I love you, and I love you enough to tell you, you ain't ready to revolt shit. You don't feed yourself, you don't hunt your own animals and slaughter them, you don't prepare for your own meat, you don't own your own land, you don't have a seed going in your window. So when you think about revolutionaryism, and you think about fighting and dying in the street, you ain't shit.
Killer Mike said black people ain't ready to revolt. It's a disparaging marriage and he ready to elope. Maritime coastline, deep V hull boat, crack a nose turned up, machete to your throat. The divine snatched the arm back, she fine, she in Zinga. Moroccan mercenary got a line on Moringa, ask Chief X to swing it. Go fund me to rock a new car, or build a school like I'm Dr. Umar. Nah, go fund some more guns, banana clips and cannabis, and bury it, the jackal, Anubis. Pool, keep them heaters and I'm in tie. In an abyss, he ain't rapping due to libations. He just channeling this.
Hands down. You ain't ready to oppose nothing. You are as a part of this system as any white person gentrified.
I'm on life. Hovercraft propellers over swamp water. We make the thoughtful think they should have thought harder. Be aware of this. Don't blink, there's only one blunt between the careful and careless. It's hard to face it when you need a shrink or a therapist. Mental disorder ordered them to label you a terrorist. I breathe elements and I found the secret. We could all walk on water if it's ground beneath it. I carry my weapon and keep my trees and still be hotep and ask to rig Nasheed. 6 in the morning, I greet my seed, then do everything I think I need.
I have to say this because I know our spirit and our emotions is stirred. I'm not against nobody on the panel. I'm with everybody on the panel. I'm not down this
Look,
I agree with everything my brother said about
I'm just gonna rock out until y'all hit the link. So hit that link.
Black people, are you ready to
knows how to
revolt? Black people, are
Hands
you
down.
ready to revolt?
Who knows how to hunt? Let's hands down, hands down, hands down, hands down, hands down.
Black people, are you ready to revolt? Black people, are you ready to revolt?
Shout out to DJ Teray. Shout out to Sister Amina.
Black people, are you ready to revolt? Black people, are you ready to revolt?
Yeah, we just chilling. Y'all know this is Go Read My Show, man. For 15, 20 years, I told you this was a hip-hop variety and knowledge show. So sometimes y'all think it get too hip-hop. But the fact that we can get really, really highly specialized with the knowledge, don't trip. We do it all, man. We be chilling. Because you really ain't got to turn into nobody else but your best self. You ain't got to be like nobody else. Just be your best you. You feel me? That good guy in the building. Help get the show popping off. Let me see what's up with my volumes. Volumes. What up with it? You there? Oh, you there? Yo. I guess the mic still must be hooking up. It's all good. I'm gonna let your mic go on and hook up. I'm vibing, and I think he's still connected audio. You there?
Peace to you, peace to the
Yeah, what's going on?
chat.
What you got up? Oh, I think you you was going in and out. Somebody say it just went crazy on Chris channel. Yeah, I was in the bushes. I don't like them type of deteriorations. You know, I always used my power influence towards reconciliation and never towards pushing the beef further. We see a lot of that. We see enough of that. We know what it lead to. It is what it is. It's exciting in the moment, and then it's just like, all right, whatever. And so I always thought the bosses in the hood was the ones who could squash the beef, not the ones who could start it. Because, you know, you look up to people as you coming up. If you got two people wanting to fight and there's one dude who like, nah, y'all not about to fight, go sit down. And then they go sit down, that's the boss. So I want to be like that dude. You feel me? And we got the one and only. And I'm going to let my man say what he got to say. Bobby Banger coming in the building. Now, Bobby, you know me, everything I ever seen you go through, what my voice be. I always try to be that one on your shoulder, be like, you know what I'm saying? Don't even trip. That's just me. Because I feel like that's what boss is supposed to do. They supposed to try to get us back off the level. But I'm going to let you have the floor. How you doing today?
I'm good, yo. I'm good, bro. You know, I'm sitting back saying,
I don't know why niggas keep making me right, yo. And I don't even understand it, yo. Like we stay 30 steps ahead of niggas. When me and your conversation get to the point where we go, hey, just do too much, we just call each other, yo. I ain't the perfect nigga. I can be very abrasive on shit, yo. You know, you got a slick ass mouth on you on some extra wild shit. Niggas don't even know that. So when we butt heads too much, yo, we know when we doing too much, we just have a good, intelligent conversation over to keep the content kicking, yo. I just realized, yo, that them days, them Armor Raw Squad days, them Magi Archer days, yo, the pseudo killers, yo, it was just really too much for niggas to actually handle and compete with, yo. So now the new thing is just be 10 times what Unc was, cussing the nigga out and all that. That's cool, but I still kind of want to have a conversation, yo. And I don't think niggas is gonna let us have a conversation because they gonna end up being sounding crazy as a motherfucker and end up looking weak to their audience that they acting like they tough about. You know what I'm saying? And they acting like they the authority about, yo. I ain't never seen a nigga get us like that, dog. Niggas talk crazy and they gotta always deteriorate to some wild shit. Why? Why? If you're the man at what you're doing, yo, I accept the challenge, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like I can respect those scenarios, yo. She sound crazy as hell. And I know why, because it's based off of where she at in her development on understanding ideas of science. I understand why. On the other hand, you got people faking like they know. And make comments like they know, right? And then they switch up 2 days later. How? Come on, yo, you know we keep all the receipts, yo. We keep all the receipts, all the conversations, yo. We know that certain niggas shouldn't even be saying your name with certain types of behaviors, yo. Like, where they do that at, yo? So I get it, yo. The competition always been on, yo. And I never back down from competition. I knew from the day one when I came to this motherfucker with a whole different way of looking at shit, yo. And niggas gravitated based off of that. I knew it was going to be a lifelong beat the shit out of niggas, yo. And I know it from the jump. So I'm letting niggas know right now, nigga, I see everybody, yo. And I always have. So when I cut the nigga out, and y'all wondering, well, why you just cut the nigga out? Because I'm ahead of the curve, yo. It's like putting a hit on a nigga. You don't wait till the nigga do what he want to do. You go take the nigga out before he gets you. That's what it is. I can call it like it was yesterday, yo. Niggas gonna find all kind of ways to move sound information out the way, yo. They do it every time. And if we can just get Smash out the way, get a song, get everybody out the way, get the pseudocritics out the way, then we can say what we want to say and start out fake-ass online cults with a whole bunch of fake chat niggas who you don't even know backing you with
So,
yourself.
are you gonna do a show about the COVID-19 thing like I had to? Me and you have a discussion about that.
Your phone, you got to repeat yourself.
You can't hear me?
A little bit.
Nah, did my voice go out, Smash?
Nah, we hear you loud and clear. It's his phone.
But when I talking and he dove in, or is it me? Is it me being old again?
Keep going.
See?
Keep going.
Man, my point is, yo, that why not just have a healthy conversation, yo? And we can do all the fanfare and all that shit. Me and Dawson there did it. I gave her what she wanted to get. I ain't cuss her out. She ain't cuss me out. Everybody like to see that. You know, wish we ain't talk over each other sometimes, but they enjoyed the discourse. We ain't call each other bitches. I'm saying I know how people, yo, I've been through this being an atheist, yo. I know that everybody what they lurking because you touch the most precious part of them, the shit they believe in, yo. And everybody want to act like they can get there. See, being an atheist, right, is simply saying that I respect everybody's culture, yo. That's all I'm saying. That's all the atheist really saying. That I'm not gonna let you hog tie me to one person culture that claim deification on items, on information, on text, on ancestors deified. I'm not gonna let you do that. I'd rather just look at the totality of human beings and how they deify things. And I'm more concerned with the natural world than the supernatural world because, in truth, there's no way for us to measure that. That's it. That's all the atheists are really saying. And people can't handle that. People can't handle really being natural. Smash. They can't handle when you say, well, this person looking at this person, that person look like that. I can handle that. They was transmitting what they saw. Now, whether it's correct for 2023 is a whole different conversation, Smash. But you ain't gonna be a bitch ass nigga and all that because you're reading from a text and that's what it's saying. So if human beings are fucking apes or primates, right? You should learn why they are. And being a primate and an ape doesn't make you a monkey, doesn't make you a chimpanzee at all. It's just simply saying when y'all match up the two living organisms, they're more closely related than any other animal on planet Earth. That's all it's saying. So to be natural is to really understand your place in the natural world amongst the rest of the things that are natural. Natural is not being denying the very thing you claim you're fighting for. So if you fight, so Africans, right, and Europeans and ancient people, yo, they deified the natural world around them, yo, and later on it will become some type of god. That's why you have totems with different, the bear is deified. Later on, the Christians think that's wild and crazy. So in actuality, Smash, these niggas is white boys for real, the whole time acting like they not. Because a natural person would not have a problem with having affinities to everything in nature, yo, and being closely related to chimpanzees. That would not bother them. And how do I know that? Because I went through that mindset. But what I didn't do was I didn't call niggas bitches and all that and do all the crazy shit for it. Oh, your website got a white person on there. Like, so why wouldn't I have a white person in the shirt? It's called the global market. Like, why wouldn't I do that, Smash? Like, why would I alienate my brand to just black people who barely support the goddamn?
No, coming from a business perspective, I just was thinking, dang, he don't understand drop shipping. That's all. I don't know how you do your business, but I understand if anybody go into drop shipping, a lot of time you don't pick your models. It ain't like you went and gave nobody no damn money and passed up some brothers and went to a white person. You didn't pick your models, but you can continue. Go ahead.
But the dude spoke on it as if it was an authority statement, yo, and that's the issue. So we could have an intelligent conversation. You called me when you thought I was going to bang on you. Could have called me and said, yo, why you got the white boy? I say, because these wild ass niggas for that one particular shirt didn't have nothing but white models. And by the way, I don't mind white people buying my products. Like, that doesn't mean I don't care about black people or African Americans. That doesn't mean that I don't love Africans globally. That doesn't mean that I don't have a general concern for black individuals in my community just because I'm saying, yo, the white lady is about to die, man, call an ambulance. So I realize, yo, that niggas is really faking, yo. They not this in real life because they working on white people jobs. So they not really that. See, on YouTube, man, you can be anything you want to be. But see, when I met you in real life, you was the same nigga on YouTube with your family. In the real world, you was the same nigga around the other niggas that I seen you interact with. You wasn't no different. But I guarantee you, these niggas is super black, yo, they different. They go get their check with their head down and shut the fuck up at their job, yo. They don't say none of that shit, yo. They run in the closet and do a live, you know what I'm saying, while they don't work on lunch and come back, scared to death of the very thing they trying to get us to be supermen about. So it's just wild to me, dog. You know what I'm saying, yo? If it's about content, then the content would be me beating the shit out you with evolution. That's how you get you the money, nigga. But now, once you call me a bitch and do all that, then, nigga, I got to put you in the category with niggas like that. I got to take that past away. See, Smash, you take passes away from niggas. You just don't say it. Your pass is, I'm not even answering your phone. I'm not even allowing you into my space at all. That's the real pass. You don't try to say who I'm going, who tell who this. That ain't what the pass is. The pass is that, yo, I don't got to be around you. And see, that's my pass too. I don't got to have a conversation with that nigga. About what? You think I'm a bitch. So now, then when we see each other, you got to make me that bitch.
Nah. Hold on.
Just talk
Nah,
about
I mean,
that.
I'm letting you speak your piece, but you know, we're gonna go the opposite direction, the reconciliation way. Maybe it ain't time for that yet, but that's what I'll use my platform for. Is what I'm saying. Not to make it go no worse, but to make it get a little better. So, but you should be allowed to say what you got to say because you couldn't speak your piece over there. What I hear, good guy trying to get a word in. What you
Yo,
saying?
my thing is that science. Y'all talk about just that's my thing. I want to talk about science and deal with that aspect of it. All that other rhetoric is just something that we don't need in the community. So that's my whole thing. Just deal with the science, and that's why I want to talk about the COVID-19. Remember, I was on your show trying to get you to let's talk about that. So that's my whole thing.
See, something.
All right,
Oh yeah, but you didn't ask no question about it. But so what about it, good guy? I think we couldn't hear you when you said it earlier. Your
Now,
phone was going out.
because I think I tried to send you that PDF files, Unc. I don't know if it was about the COVID-19 thing. I don't think you was able to download it. Remember?
about what? What's the primary thing you're just saying?
That it
What,
came
what,
from they think that it came out of a lab. Remember?
yeah,
Remember that
man, but
show?
I remember that. But you're not reading what you're reading right. And there's nothing I can do about that, yo. I cannot make you read other material besides that one piece of paper that would allow you to make an informed decision off of that, yo. It's too many variables, too many pieces that we're not going to be able to make up in this conversation. You will get frustrated before me. You would actually think that me, right, would support people making up shit. I wouldn't. And so whether this shit came from a lab or not, that's really a small thing because lab leaks have happened in the past. So that wouldn't be out of the realm of possibilities. And no time over this last 3 years have I ever heard of scientists outright say it didn't come from a lab. I've never heard them say that. And if you can find that material written in a scientific journal, then I'll be like, yo, you did the damn thing. But since you can't, and I already know you can't, the conversation will end up in a place that's going to be extraordinarily wild over time. The same thing with my man, Neanderthal James. It starts to degrade after a person constantly brings up shit that's not even valid in the very place he's claiming to get it from. That he's misunderstanding the whole scope of it. That's why these conversations get right here. Because
I
people
was just watching
Yo, that's real crazy that you
But hold on,
brought up
James.
my name. Hold on.
But he called
You
James'
brought up-
name.
you
Let
just brought
James
my
respond.
name
Sorry,
up.
if you don't
I
mind.
didn't say nothing. And then, so hold on. Regardless of what you think, I'm right. I don't give a damn what you talking about. You're the one that don't understand what's going on. So you can continue on trying to act like I'm wrong, but I understand the data exactly like it's written. And like Savante Pablo said was, you the one letting Ngozi have you confused with basal Eurasian populations, which is just a hypothetical thing that they made up. It's Africans that came out of Africa, not no damn basal Eurasians. That is who mixed with Neanderthal. It ain't no such thing as a basal Eurasian. But you keep letting them keep get you lost. And that's all I gotta say about that, bro. I'm not
And they
wrong
just
in
had
that situation. I don't
a
understand why you keep attacking me when you the one wrong. But anyway, man, I don't even want to even talk to you. I just came on here because I missed Smash show earlier, and what he had brought up something about some DNA from those ancient mummies that was like 93% African, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're saying in the 20th dynasty, these people were clustering at 93% African.
Man, I'm about to give you that link. You about to love it. I'm gonna give it to you right now.
But Smash, you didn't even show that you didn't read the Eurasian DNA that they had.
It was hella low. It was hella low.
It was right next to it. Only thing you had to do was just skip over to the Eurasian.
Because DNA. I thought they knew that if you got 93% sub-Saharan, then you're only gonna have 7% left to be anything else.
Yeah, I know that, but see, you got, like you say, you got to be anal.
Yeah, and show them,
know. You see what I'm saying? Let them know that, look, they was 93%. I'm 91% right now. Look what I look like. So what I'm trying to say is, if you look at their DNA today, these people are 70% European today. They not 93% African, right?
I don't know. So keep saying what you're saying though.
They 70% European. Everybody in northern Egypt is 70% European today.
Well, there you have it. But look at, but the pharaohs wasn't, and I just gave you that link so that you could do it, and that's straight from Hawass.
Yeah, I need that.
That's from Hawass, and so I don't understand. But and we put it back on the screen so everyone can see what you're talking about. I'm about to do that right now. Here we go, right here. And again, now everyone can come say, whoever the geneticists are, can come say what all these CSFOP and all that stuff means. But this is what you meant when it goes to your East Asian or East Eurasian and Asian. With Asian, they got 0.3%. And with with Eurasian, they got Thuya got 6.3%, while sub-Saharan African is at 93%.
Okay, but look at that KV55. See, this is just like us today. Everybody has a different genetic makeup. You got somebody, they don't have their name, KV35, he's 71% sub. And then you go down to KV55,
right here.
They're 41%. But once you get to 41%, you're going to be non-African. You're going to start looking like you're not
looking
African,
different.
even though they're in the population.
Well, what about this 68%? What would you say?
He's going to be more African. Who would he look like? What you know what I'm saying? He's going to look more African than non-African. Maybe like some of the Arabs look today, because that's what they are. They're 70% non-African and they're 30% African. That's what their genetic makeup is today when you look at them. So they're going to look more like an Arab because they have Arab admixture.
Look, my God. Revisiting the hair. All right, keep going, sorry.
Yeah, so we have European admixture at 5 to 10 to maybe some people say 20%. But we still been in America for 400 years and we look like this.
I'm about to share this with the whole chat. This actually comes out of Samaka Kieta, Soy Kieta's document that he just did. And so you guys who know how to read this data better can also read it right there. And this was... Yeah, go ahead.
Smash. So this is the DNA tribes, am I correct?
I don't know. It says Pop Affiliated 1. But this was
I'm looking at the mummies that we had a discussion about 15 years. Well, maybe not 15, maybe 10, 12 years, me and Ngozi. And they was I think let me say they was talking about, was it like incest, right? Remember that conversation we had?
Yeah, I remember a while ago.
About incest? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was basically based off of this study. I think this is that study right there. And I'm thinking it might be closely related to that DNA tribe study. That's what I'm thinking, because you got to they're trying to figure out what if it was his kids or not. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm that's not like a new thing right there.
Yeah, and so I don't know if it's new or not, but I just seem like we don't never deal with these numbers. But the article I pulled it from is from 2020, and they used it to discredit the work done in 2017. So they also showing microsatellite markers, if y'all know what this does here. And I guess if we ever need to, this is coming from some Jamal Network, these journals here. But this, again, this is some test Hawass did that was given to us by Soy Kieta. And I'm about to also share the article for everybody so they can see it for themselves.
What that is, what I think they call in their contention is because it only had 8 of the 13 possible alleles or whatever the genetic thing that they needed, and have the whole 13 set. But that's ancient DNA. But from what they could extract, it still showed that it was sub-Saharan Africa by 90-something%. Mm-hmm. So and DNA tribes, they didn't go out of business because they had bad DNA. They went out of business because one of the founders died and the other one sold it to another company. So it didn't have anything to do with their analysis of DNA to why they're discrediting their DNA.
Oh, but this is from Pop Affiliated 1. I don't know. That's what they didn't. I never seen DNA tribes mentioned in this article. They keep saying this is Hawass's data. This is not their data. It's Hawass's data from something called Pop Affiliated 1. But I'm about to share this article right here with y'all. So back to you, Bobby. So what you were saying though?
No, I'm good.
Yeah. I just shared a link to that article on academia.com, and I'll do it in the chat as well. I just was coming on just to chill because I finished doing my little presentation just to respond to what I seen on Chef Show last night. And you know,
they out of control over there.
that was that one dude. They always was they normal out of control, but that one dude was extra. Talking about that he was bringing back up the middle. Yeah, I had to just let him know he was tripping. So I knew if I stayed on the panel to talk to him over there, I wouldn't be able to talk enough. So I just had to give him a whole dedication.
Yeah, it was a whole bunch of clutter going on at the end of pretty much that show. But I just find it amazing that we always continue to blame our scholars for the misinformation of history. Now, Dr. Clark told us what was needed to reconstruct the history. They had to go and find the history through Europeans because we didn't do any of it writing up the history. Only thing they doing is going through, looking what Europeans saying, and then saying, okay, this don't make sense. This civilization starts in kind of like on the Nile in the southern region, and it don't make sense that these people are not African. That's all Diop or our ancestors or our elders did, was they was finally able to have an opinion and say what they thought about the data. They disagreed that it was non-African. And then they continued to tried to show it. So now we look now, even though that was 30, 40, 50 years ago, they got Diops working in a damn museum. So why are we arguing? That's what I asked Chef now. You see what I'm saying?
I don't think I had stopped lifting after a while after I finished trolling in the chat, just having fun. But I don't think I was listening when you got on the panel. You came on late, huh? You came on late.
Yeah, I came on later because. Oh, hold on. I got a call. Hold on.
It's all good. Babylon Don, you got your presentation ready? He ain't ready. He at work. He got. Oh, what's up?
Hey, no, bro. I'm right here, Smash. I ain't at work today, but now I'm gonna do that presentation, though. I'm gonna get with you on that for real. I was looking at it last night.
All right.
Yeah, serious. I looked over.
I'm gonna be laughing. You better double, triple check that thing, because them boys gonna go hard. You gotta like get it peer reviewed before you really do it. You know what I'm saying?
I'll run it by you first, then.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Smash.
What's up with it?
Yeah, but this article did a whole show on there, remember?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not acting like this nothing new. I'm responding to dude. Dude was trying to use this data last night. I don't know why they was letting him use the 2017 data last night, man.
But come on, yo. I think everybody's just trying to get some content. We already dealt with that. We already did. So, when you deal with scientific journals, yo, you get your first article, and then you get the field to respond to the article. So you never make your determinations off of one article. It's never been that. If you want to read the notes and letters from the other scientists weighing in on the subject, that's how the game is really played.
Man, Chef, where you at? Come out the bushes. Because Chef know we dealt with it, but all last night on his show, he let this dude named X Architect, sit there and act like that DNA, that we ain't addressed that. The 2017 shit with Christopher Eric discredited and everybody. They sitting there.
But
go ahead.
But in the article, it tells you do not use this as a general consensus of the overall population of 4,000 years of history because we don't have the data needed to represent the whole population. It tells you that right in the article. You could get it.
They ignore that part.
Stop sign.
They ignore that part. Huh? They ignore that part.
But I know, but how?
No,
it does, and that's the point, though. Smash.
We all run our shows different, though. So Chef probably just like you said wasn't stopping dude on some content shit. Sometimes I let niggas ramble on some content shit too. But when you know, like he think he got a bomb, you at least supposed to say, "Nah, we already beat that up. Cut that out," and then show him that article ain't that substantiated. But go right ahead.
Yeah, and that's probably where I'm different at. And it's probably time for me to look at other options because it's more than just content for me. It's about actually getting legitimate information to the community so they can make informed decisions and choices. So they can actually understand how DNA really works, and so they can understand how to interpret a real scientific article. So that's my thing. It ain't about content for me.
But that's what make you more unique too. Because if people like they gotta find the real somewhere all the time. Like for instance, that's why I don't mind people like Tahuti with the spider on his head. And even Jabari, and then that's no slight to them. I totally don't mind nothing because what I do, you can look at our 3 presentations and take your pick. You see what I'm saying? And I think most people gonna look and see like this dude really fucking with it. And so again, that's what they would say about you when it comes to being more scientifically astute than others. You know what I'm saying?
Can you hear me?
I couldn't right then, but I heard you say, "Can you hear me?"
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't got a problem with. I mean, they punching bags at the end of the day. So you need punching bags. I like people to think that they can get past science. I like people to think that I'm actually bringing something that I have, that's something that I came up with. I enjoy that moment. Right? I mean, damn, I'm just bringing what the experts said. If I'm talking geology, then I'm not a geologist. I'm not out there digging and figuring out rock outcrops and that. I just get the work that's actually done on it, and I think I do it at a high level of determining that stuff. So it's never me. Like, you read the fucking flips. That's you. I don't bring articles about something I did in evolution. I don't make no determinations off of what I said. You know what I'm saying? People can talk that shit about Wiki all they want, but I've yet to see a nigga get past Wikipedia. Yeah, I've yet to see a nigga get past Britannica. And then I kind of realized that if I don't bring Wikipedia and Britannica, you're not going to understand it anyway. People still don't understand what a theory is and the difference in the scientific community and the lay community. Or a fact, the difference of it in the lay community. If you can't even understand that, what makes you think you can pull up the journal, Nature's Journal Science?
So you know what you got to do. This is what I've been figuring out. I've been having to do in that situation. Show them the one that can't fuck with first, and then take them to the wiki. Cause you feel me? Cause they blame us. They know we got all the other data on it. They know you got the scientific articles, but then they want to. Now I even have my wiki jokes too. It's fun to do. I got a whole wiki sample. You feel me? Even and I say if I use wiki 4 times on my show, then I get a wiki. But at the same time, if I start just with the metal nature that none of y'all can't read, how productive is that gonna be? You see what I'm saying? So if you want to nip them dudes in the bud too, start that shit off with them. Remember that article we couldn't even read? It was 10 of us trying to read it.
I tried to tell everybody.
Exactly. So then they going to die and be begging you to take them to the wiki. It's going to be all in the chat. Just read the wiki.
But you know what's funny? The question should be, why would I read a Wikipedia or Encyclopedia Britannica? Why would I do that? Because the Journal of Nature says so. Because experts have looked at this material without bias. And I showed that right in the Journal of Nature. It said, publish in Wikipedia or perish. And he was talking about the scientific articles need to be published in Wikipedia. But why would they say that? So now we got to come up with the grand conspiracy. I think what it is, that's a card that they use when they got them to say that Wikipedia is not valid. And I've seen everybody do that smash. And it's just straight funny to me. Because in actuality, it's the sources that we always talked about on Wikipedia. We say, go to Wikipedia to start out your conversation, get sources from Wikipedia, right? And go into those sources. That's the conversation. The conversation never was just stay on Wikipedia. That never was the conversation. But the narrative has to be framed that way because they will never defeat science, man. See, Smash, like those who aspire to understand science and apply it, they're going to always get pushed back. You know why, Because science destroys your quote-unquote imaginary world. And human beings need to imagine that they all powerful, all knowing, and are the central point of everything around them in nature. It's for some reason we need to have that, And science makes you no more important than the fucking flour that you eat for sustenance. And people can't take that. I think it's beauty in that. That at the end of the day, when your ass is dead, you dead. So why not just take advantage of the friendship that you got right now? Why not take time when you and Smash about the beat to have a good conversation? Why not talk about your family and your daughters and what they doing? Because when Smash is gone, he's gone. How about spend more time with your mother and your kids? Because when they're gone, they're gone. How about that? How about nourishing, going different places and seeing the diversity on planet Earth? Or Unc said this, Smash said that. Why not take a trip and see if you can see it for yourself? Why not enjoy the beauty of diversity on planet Earth, yo? Why not try to understand people in general? Because once you're gone, that's it. No matter what y'all say. Nobody came back. So at the end of the day, it's about understanding the natural world. And last time I checked, the problems that we're having is a natural problem. Simple. We're having natural problems.
Yeah.
Whether it be balancing the checkbook.
Hey, what's up with it, Gunner?
Shit, chilling, man. Shit, I called you earlier. I got your call back too, bro. I'm just tired of, bro. I'm just tired of being conflated with other people's arguments, and I don't be saying what other people be saying like that. My argument's more nuanced, bro. Like I don't be saying what these other dudes be saying at all. Like I don't fuck with no ex Architect. I don't fuck with him. We was arguing them down months ago.
No, hell yeah. I was in the chat. I was listening to y'all. Wait, did you come on the show last night? Am I tripping?
No, I wasn't on the show.
Okay, well, but they was fighting him down even last night. No, Gozy came on. That wasn't you. That was Gozy. Gozy came on to beat the brakes off him.
Yeah, bro. Like I don't say, remember, we all on the show. We told him that thing shit. But they was saying like he still focused on that same ass article that's outdated as hell, bro.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying.
Like no matter how North Africans or some Egyptians look, you cannot separate them from the Horners, bro. Like you cannot separate them from the Red Sea Hills at all. Like them people is them same people. Just because they mix with some other motherfuckers, they nucleus or them same indigenous African people from Northeast Africa all the way to the northern horn of the island here.
Hey, I think your phone just did it. Robert Brown, brand new in the building, and we got old school American Dream. Now, what type of beef or what type of what brought out American Dream today? Peace to you, American Dream. What's up, Robert Brown?
Man, peace, King Smash. They mad. I call him King Smash. I call him King Madjai. They mad. Oh, okay. Well, that means we about to continue this behavior because that means I'm doing something right. Y'all got no problem with calling King Jesus? Y'all got no problem with calling Almighty Allah? And them niggas ain't never gave y'all $5, man. But y'all mad that the King Madjai is giving y'all something that we shouldn't even be getting. We shouldn't even be having access to this shit. Man, Madjai them put in all these hours of work. They give us this, and you ain't gonna call him a king, your own black brother? You mad? All right, King Madjai, run that up. I'm gonna let my boy American Dream talk. I guess I was waiting to get that off, man. Go ahead, great God.
Robert, hella funny. Shout out to you, man. What's up with you got me laughing. What's up with American Dream?
Peace, Smash. Thanks for letting me in.
Oh yeah, it's all good. So what you want to beat me up about? What I do wrong?
No, I absolutely don't want to beat you up on anything. I was watching Chef's video from last night. I was watching it this morning. I didn't get through much of it. What I did get through, though, the most interesting part of it that I got through is I'm not sure if you saw the video he showed with Dr. Ben, and there was another guy being interviewed. And the interviewer asked them why. I think the question was along the lines of why what they were doing was so important, and their response was that it was a way to combat the inferiority complex that Black people have. Do you recall that part of the video?
No, but I think what he said is, if he said that exactly, I would, at his time when he was saying that, I wouldn't take nothing away from that statement. That's wrong. All
Sure.
of the soul searching that they call it, for lack of better terms, that black people had to do because of inflicted an identity crisis that was inflicted upon us. That also breeds self-esteem and morale issues. When you just don't know who the hell you are. So really, some only way out of that black man has found is some fake success. You know what I mean? Like if you get some of the white man money, you don't have to worry about who you was. But if you still stay poor and shit, you be thinking about that. And so I wouldn't say that that them suggesting that as a remedy at the time period when they did was that bad. But let's just be clear, he was just saying that as a remedy for black people who suffer from that, and all black people don't. So let's just address the race for Africa that didn't even include black people. It was an all 100% European thing. And so now just because we could get some mental and political benefits out of including ourselves in that race, you know what I'm saying? I don't think, I'm just want to wind it up by saying I don't think those two things are mutually exclusive. We can be
Yeah.
do some soul searching with it, as well as include ourselves in the race that everybody else is doing about Africa and Egypt.
Yeah, I guess fundamentally I was just wondering if that was the same motivation, the motivation that they had of removing the inferiority complex from black people. I'm wondering if that's still the motivation that exists today
Well,
with people who claim to be Israelites or
even
people who
Kemet.
claim to be or Kemet. Anything, is that still the motivation? And I'm wondering
A little bit.
where that idea and where does the idea that black people have an inferiority complex come from? Like, why? Like, what do we use as an example to prove that black people, more than anyone else, because pretty much all races have gone through some form of slavery, but why is it that black people are the only ones that are said to have an inferiority complex because of it?
Oh, well, that's a
Give me
very
an
good
example of,
question. That's a very good question.
and
And so personally, oh, go ahead. It don't sound like you were finished.
right, just why is it that blacks are the only ones that are said to have this inferiority complex based on slavery? And what is an example, like how is that inferiority complex, how is it expressed? Like what's an example that you can say, see, there's an
All right.
example
So
of an
yeah,
expression of
I got
inferiority
an answer for
complex?
you. So I would think that being associated with something historically indignant, like slavery and the submission, the forced submission, and these things that we don't qualify ourselves as. No animal qualifies themselves as an alpha when they have to go through any of the things that some of our predecessors had to go through. Like when the dog that stands still in the midst of the dog that's doing what it want is showing that it is not dominant. You know what I mean? And that's what we saying. The associated with the indignity of slavery in some people, again, and a lot of us, it's not like they have a problem if it turned out to be some type of subconscious mental effect that would affect their self-esteem and morale. Because when you see people linking themselves to all kind of stuff and, oh, Johnny, oh, we're Italian, oh, we're this, we're Greek, and they just link you, oh, well, you were just a servant. Well, anyone can see that I don't have to explain that could cause a certain type of morale issues in certain people. It's not like it has to, but it's very sure that it could. You know what I mean?
Sure, and that morale issue, given that the people that are said to have this morale issue or inferiority complex, given that they themselves didn't experience the slavery, it can be, I guess the argument is that this morale issue and inferiority complex is now in their DNA.
No. It's in their fake
So where does
history.
it come from if they're not the
It's in
ones?
their fake
If they didn't
history. So that's why it answers your first question. It's not in their DNA, but it's in their fake history. Meaning if you don't know where you came from and everybody tell you came from doo-doo, then you're going to be like, why is everybody telling me this? And it'll start affecting you, but it's not in your DNA stuck with you. It's just simply in whenever you look backwards, that's what you hear as far as the people like you who were here before you. And so that would develop that way in anybody. What's up with Kyle?
Yo, what's up, man? How you doing, bro?
It's all good. How about yourself?
Yo, I kind of want to add something onto that
Go right ahead.
conversation that y'all was having, but I also had another question too regarding your show earlier. But as far as the inferiority complex that a lot of African Americans experience, I know I don't want to go down this path too far, but it's definitely due to scientific racism. But then you also have the religious aspects of it, because that was the grounds of the enslavement of Black people is the palpables that deem indigenous Americans and sub-Saharan Africans not part of God's creation plan and made us the beasts of the field and made us suitable for slave enslavement. So that plays a part in the inferiority complex. So does the curse of Ham. So a lot of Christians or different organizations associate African Americans as being the descendants of Ham, which gives them the right to be, or gives them a preconceived notion that they were destined to be servants to a particular individual. So that's part of it. So it's a few different aspects. Mainly now we've been fighting the whole. I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
Let me just ask you a question. Are you saying that? Do you think it's all Black people, like all African Black people, have a superiority complex, or do you think it's just African Americans? Do you think that the African American experience, given white supremacy in America, just the
That's a
same
good
for the
question
same
too.
things that they're asking for reparations in America? Like, only Americans are asking for reparations because of redlining, everything, because their experience is said to be
I'm
different.
gonna let
So
Kyle
I guess my
answer.
question is it only African Americans that's suffering from this inferiority complex, or is it all Black people everywhere?
What you think, Kyle?
I would say it's all Black people, but it's those that have definitely been influenced by colonialism have been given this inferiority complex. You can look at, for instance, you can look at the Hutu and the Tutsi. They went through this same thing and they ended up in a civil war because they was battling internally based on a social construct that was given to them by the Europeans that invaded their land. You also
That's
see
kind of
this.
that's kind of
Go ahead.
broad though, Kyle. To say all Black people that were affected by
All
colonialism,
right.
that would mean pretty much every Black person. That would probably mean
All right, but
every
real
human
quick,
being on the planet, wouldn't it?
this is what I would say, just real quick. I would say you might be right that it affects Black people in America more than Blacks on the continent, but I would say maybe it affects Black people who don't have any, who lost their cultural ties more than it. Meaning, I could be a Black man in Germany still feeling the same way as a Black man in America, only because I'm not tied to my culture directly. But say I'm a Kenyan who's still a Black man, but since I know I'm Kenyan and I came from Kenya, then I'm tied to my homeland, and then I probably won't be feeling no inferiority complexes about no of why would I? I wasn't even a slave. I mean, I don't got no slave heritage roots.
So
You see what I'm
Yeah,
so
saying?
let, so let me ask
that's
you,
kind of where I was
Smash. So
going though.
Smash, if I
I just
can,
didn't get to fully articulate myself. So like when we dealing with these African nations and us as being the products of these African nations, a lot of us we had our cosmology removed from us. The cosmology that an individual feels is their ties to some type of God concept that gives them a greater meaning in life. So once that has been removed from a certain individual and you're put into a subservient position based on a religious structure, that's not going to be something that's going to uplift you in that social class and social structure. Now, when you're given that from a person that doesn't look like you or is not part of your community, and that person also is then given the jurisdiction and the rulership of trade and commerce in your area, it's hard to overcome that by simply saying that I want to will this out of existence because that's something that's going to be there in that infrastructure.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I get all of that, but I'm still trying to figure out, because everything you've said, colonialism, people being enslaved and robbed of their culture, that has happened to every race that exists, but for some reason we only put an inferiority complex on Black people. And it seems as if you're saying every Black person has an inferiority complex. And Smash, let me ask you, Smash,
But that's not what I'm
because
saying. Though.
you seem to
You are mis.
No, let
miscalculate.
Kyle finish.
I like to be
Yeah.
understood. That's not what I said.
Yeah, let Kyle finish because you misinterpreted him. Go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Like that's
Smash.
So you're not saying every black. So which black people in particular are you suggesting has an inferiority complex?
Well, that was the second sentence of what I said. I said those that are influenced and that was taken and that was influenced by colonialism. Colonialism was a system.
That would be all black people. Wouldn't that be all black people, Kyle?
No, not. Look, there's people.
Which black people alive? Which black people alive today have not been affected by colonialism?
You know,
it depends on which way he mean that, though. Well, go ahead, Kyle.
The hardest part, man, is having a conversation with somebody that always cut you off with another question, man. Like, allow me to articulate myself, please, American Dream.
Sure.
So, what I'm saying, when to answer your last question, you said which black people was afflicted by colonialism. I'm talking about those ones that changed over their oral traditions and history and the things that made them great independently. So once you remove that from an individual, you remove an individual's history. You know what the Sankofa bird is, right? You know, like, you know, if you don't know what's behind you, then you can't never prepare for your future. And if an individual gets his past removed from them, they're constantly going to feel inferior to other people based on the removal of a pre-existing society or culture that they have. So they have to now adapt to a new culture without previous understanding of their prior culture. And that, I wouldn't say it makes.
But that happened. But that happened to every black person, according to history. That happened to all black people. So I'm still trying to figure out which black people do you think that did not happen to?
If you look through, if you look in the annals of history, you will see certain people in certain societies had a certain level of pride of their existence prior to. That pride gets removed once an individual's cultural ties to their homeland is removed.
You're right. And most people who still there, even if they in the colonial system, they remember the secrets and know the ways of how it originally went in their homeland. You know how that go, American Dream. And so I hear what Kyle's saying. Go ahead, Gullah.
I was just saying some traditions still get carried on.
We couldn't hear you, bro.
I mean, I get everything being said. I'm just wondering if y'all could just point to a certain black group. Just name the black group that does not have an inferiority complex.
No, I'm saying I would say I can't speak for them, but I would propose
African Americans do.
No, I'm saying this. I'm not all African Americans. I can't speak for everybody, but just to be fair to our discussion, what I said earlier, I think any African who still has ties to it, knows where he come from in Africa, they not subjected to that. Because think about it. I'm not talking about the ones who did their DNA test like us and figured it out. I'm talking about like maybe immigrants or maybe third generation immigrants who actually know and still go back. It is because, first of all, you know by that you wasn't involved in the slave trade. By default, only the people who can't remember, and you know what I'm saying, are the candidates for this in my analysis, because those who still can say, well, hold up, I'm from Kenya from 30 generations, then if you got that solid lineage going through, you never got abducted.
Hold on, Smash. Now I got a personal situation with having relationships with people from Africa. I have a brother named George Oding. He's Kenyan. He's from the Lua tribe. When I met the brother, he's an elder. He's like in his 70s, almost 80 years old. When I met him, he was a Christian. He was a staunch Christian. And based on me having historical information, that's what gave me an infinity, even here in America. So I'm not what I'm saying is the history that I learned, I no longer have an inferiority complex because I know our history from what I understand.
But you just explained your way out of it. That's all I'm saying.
Hold on. They were Christians. When I started to talk to George, I brought him out of Christianity and had made him have more pride about his cultural continuity because he was on the Nile. And I was like, man, you on the Nile? How you a Christian? You know, I kind of used that against him. I used that against him to get him out of the Christian indoctrination. And then once he started to listen, then he started to show me things that I would show him about Kemet, like how they build, how they make the pottery. He was showing me things that I would have never known about Kenyan pottery. It's the same thing. Like even the instrument that they play in Kenya now, it's one of the instruments that I showed him that was in Kenya, and he was like, wow. So what I'm saying is, when we know our history, it does make us not have an inferiority complex to what American Dream is talking about.
You're right. And you gave a great example of how once you got some ties back to your roots, yours was gone. But you also noted that you had one before you got those ties to your roots. Well, a lot of us do. I mean, can we, at least I'm at the age where I can openly admit that this is what I've learned by just traveling the world. That I learned I was so racially insecure. And so it's something people don't talk about, but I think racial insecurity is a product of being, everything we go through. And what I meant by that, I didn't mean racially insecure like I didn't like blackness. Is what I would, this is how I gauged it when I learned about it, because I taught it to myself by traveling the world. I used to think the only category of insulting me, specifically if you're coming from, and I also say racially sensitive, but particularly when coming from another race, I used to categorize everything as racism. Like there was no opportunity for you just to be an asshole or a punk or a sucker. None of those could qualify. If you were a different race and you said something negative about me, you was just a racist. So right there, I was like, I once I realized that about my own self, I was like, so I'm not letting nobody just be a jerk one day, and then we can still be cool.
Do you think?
Go ahead.
Do you think that was an expression of your inferiority complex?
Well, this is what I learned. I started analyzing myself with a little bit of introspective thinking, and I start thinking, first, it don't happen all the time. You get these defenses up when you're outnumbered by white people. Like say you go in a restaurant, you feel me? I know black people know what I'm talking about, so I don't even have to trip. As soon as you go in a restaurant, I mean, I'm talking about when you was racially insecure, not now that you don't give a fuck because you're a grown ass man. Like I done sat in restaurants in all white Hickville, Brentwood at 4 a.m. with old ass hick white boys who start loving me because they just seen my demeanor was so, I don't give a fuck about y'all. You know what I'm saying? And we start having nice conversations like me and do. But what I'm trying to say, I mean, see, I threw my own self off with that sidebar. You know what I'm saying? For real. So allow somebody.
Nah, Smash, we feel where you coming from.
The ignorance
you
that
saying it's your
we've been,
personality that also had an influence, but at the same time, you saying that you did have some own things that you were dealing with. You know what I mean? As a result, that you see
Exactly.
fit in the aspect of what this guy's describing.
And you brought me back because I was talking about entering a restaurant. This is an experience I'm sure we all had on our own where you the only black person in the restaurant. So if you don't ever think about that, then you have no. Now this ain't just being conscious unless you in the racist ass South where you're in danger for being the only black person in the restaurant. Then you are either have some type of security issues with racists at that point. You're not just being observant because you're not going to observe nothing like that ain't a danger to you. Like you never walked into a Mexican restaurant and noticed you was the only black person because it didn't matter. Feel me? But you walked in the white ones and being like, damn, I'm
next. We all feel it, Smash. Everybody know what you're saying. They just it's a sensitive topic, so you got to be brave to deal with this.
Hopefully, my last question. Yeah, let me just ask my last question. I think. So, would you say that because it's hard to agree whether or not black people have an inferiority complex or not? We may agree that some of them do. But the question is, the ones that do, in fact, we say have an inferiority complex. Do you think that complex is imposed on them by something like, let's say, white supremacy, or do you think it's self-imposed where they put themselves in that line of thinking just based on their own thoughts?
A little bit of
is it
both.
Self-imposed or is it imposed from outside?
Well, you got to kind of have some mental still resilience to be placed into poverty, then told these stories, don't got no money, no food, and you just think people gonna just be walking around hella self-esteem and shit? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure how much self-esteem was it in the concentration camps No matter if the people were proud before you took them, as soon as you get them into a debilitated state, then self-esteem ain't an easy-ass option till you go kill somebody or do something to make you
But we're
feel.
talking about
No, I'm
we're
all
talking about black people
situations.
today, not the ones that went through the slavery. Like
Okay.
the inferiority complex is not, they didn't go through the slavery. So I would see how their self-esteem, the people that went through the slavery. But we're talking about the people who today who didn't go through it, but are still having this inferiority
Yeah,
complex.
because it
Is
was
that
so.
self-imposed or is it imposed
I
from
hear you. I
outside?
hear you. And so let's all talk about it because also there is the remnants of the things that were left over as slavery that reminded them. Like for instance, kids don't have to know about slavery to see the cops shooting dudes down all the time. Then they wonder why is it like this and start going backwards, and then you're led to these egregious means. And so you know what I'm saying. Even though it's like hella people who got hung from trees was so far separated from slavery, but they got one of the results of slavery at a later time period. And so again, now to call a man insecure, let's think about, we got it good though. Let's think about the Mississippi South in like the 40s and 50s or something, where you could just be walking down the street, just get, I mean, it could probably still happen today, but were they racially insecure? Or were they like punks, or what were they? They were more cautious and conscious of what could really happen to them. But since they came with these fake laws that made us feel protected in an integrated society, now we have to deal with this psychosis of whether are we really being conscious and aware of a threat when you're the only black man in a white restaurant, or are you being racially insecure and tripping? So when I brought this out, it wasn't the best way because it was really about racial insensitivity. I mean, racially sensitive. Like sometimes we sensitive, but then when you get around a group of white people, they can't crack no joke. They can't do shit pertaining to race because we got a problem with it. Now, is that insecure? What is that? I'm asking because we all black men.
Great point. Gee.
I don't got the answer. I got the question. One of y'all can tell me. You know, like why can't a white person crack a race joke?
True indeed. You're right, God. It's because of that complex, God.
Well,
In some degree or format, it's going to be centered around.
No, they do.
Associated with such.
Yeah, they do.
You get you have
because
but why do that rub us the wrong way?
Clay, he was very racist. You know, but that was in a certain time period. Now because of this, I don't know what's going on today, but comedians can't be as open about how they think.
Man, I ain't even tripping off them. You in a car, James. You know, 2 white dudes and 2 black dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't the white dudes in the back say no type of race joke about nothing? But the black dudes in the front can though, and you know that. I'm just asking why. That's because the white dudes is honestly more racially secure at that point. They don't give a fuck about you saying nothing about no cracker unless they on some insecure shit. Now y'all tell me I'm wrong. I could be wrong.
Hold on, I'm in the car now. We jumped up in the car 4 deep, right?
Yep.
So I'm analyzing that scenario, right? And based on what happened historically, that kind of makes it an uncomfortable situation for them to say certain things. You know what? Ice Cube was on the show with Bill Maher. I was just watching it last night. Same question. I forgot what they said. But Bill Maher had brought up the fact that white people can't say what black people say. And Cube had an excellent answer for what the same thing you just asked. That was crazy.
Well, first of all, let's remember words is casting spells. And it was white people who created the nigga. You know, it wasn't no niggas on earth until they took some kings and queens, if you want to romanticize it, but just regular people of Africa. Nothing said they were and they got made into servants, and then they got treated hella bad. They couldn't read, so now everything that you think consists of a nigga today breaking the laws because they the white man laws, that was all made by white people. You know, Seti taught us that shit.
Right. Now, you know what's crazy? When you go back through the etymology of the word, they just call them black.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is that not true?
I mean, that would have to be true in most
Yeah, but I'm
languages.
just saying it's just crazy when
But they attach the negative connotation to it at a certain period in time.
They
not,
social engineered it to be negative towards us. You know what I'm saying? They made it a negative, but it just simply means black.
But I was thinking, we went off the track of one of American Dream's questions, but you can still expound. But I like what we was building on, because I was getting clarity from y'all about things I only be having to think about in my head. Like, for instance, when my white neighbors don't wave at me when I wave and then they don't wave back, is they automatically racist, or is they could just having a bad day, or is they an asshole, or is there other options?
But hold on. It depends on how many times you wave.
Nigga, I ain't no sucker. Hey, if I wave once, it's crack. Hey, it's over, James. Hey, nope. If they didn't see me, then they wonder why I'm acting funny the next time. See? Now, I had the Mexican who wasn't waving back, and he looked like he was on some Samoan out the pen shit. Then my wife even spoke to me, too, and like, damn, I don't even know. So I'm like, fuck them.
Right.
And now I start doing that, right? And now he makes sure he wave first. So I'll be thinking, man, we all be thinking crazy shit in our head. But is it always, I'm asking y'all,
be your friend either.
as black men, I'm asking y'all, is it always first due to our race? No.
Yeah, right.
Right, I would agree. I would agree with that, because I treat, even now, we in a mixed society. I treat my neighbors, which are mostly Hispanic, pretty well. I mean, and they don't treat me bad. I mean, it's just a little disrespect, but you got to work that kind of stuff out as neighbors. This is a trip. Like, I noticed, like, when I first moved, I've been staying in my house for 22 years. When I first moved in this neighborhood, it was all Europeans. Now it's all Hispanics. But what's the trip about that is usually what used to happen is when Europeans leave a neighborhood, we used to be the second to get the second deal. Now it's all, and here in Texas anyway, it's all Hispanics that when they leave or whatever, then the Hispanics take over their properties. So I just found that interesting. If you was just going through time.
So Pan-African James, you gonna sit there and tell us that you don't live in the all-black community? You, of all people.
I'm in Texas. What are you talking about? He out of control. You don't even know what's going on down here.
But I was asking us, how about you, Kyle? How quick do you defer to that opposite person of that opposite race who don't treat you friendly is a racist? Is it the first thing they was?
When I was younger, yeah. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. When I was in a different category in my life, I'll say that, right? That would be the first thing that I'll revert to. But I understand now it's not about race anymore. It's about social class. And so, like, I'm in a neighborhood right now. It's a very, very mixed environment, and I have white people, Asians around me. There's a few black people over here as well. But like, just because a person doesn't speak, I don't think they're not racist, because I ain't the most friendly person either. Right. People probably wave at me and I don't speak back. So it's just like, maybe a person, like you said, having a bad day. Maybe a person's on a mission. Maybe a person got something on their mind, and I don't necessarily use that as a tool to assume racism. I use that as a tool to, hey, okay, next time I see this nigga, I ain't speaking.
Yeah. Man, I've been living in my neighborhood so long. Sometimes we speak, sometimes we don't. You know what I mean? It depends on what's going on. If I'm looking directly at them,
but it's a lot to do with race.
A head nod or something. But if not, if I'm on the phone, if I'm sitting on my porch, I'm doing something. I ain't got time to wave at you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a lot to do with race too. It's a lot to do with race too, because I didn't know that there was a secret war going on between Mexicans and blacks over boxing.
Oh man!
Hold on. No! Don't espouse that propaganda, bro. That's not true. Well, I mean, so let me say something. White people be making up that fake shit on some old school.
I will say, King, like, I experienced this, King, and I do see this.
Okay,
like,
go ahead. Speak your piece.
I did not know, King, and this is from being on the boxing websites. This is from being in those chat rooms and seeing that. I didn't know, because, and especially depending on, but like I'm saying, but see, really it's supporting your argument, because see, King, at the end of the day, like these kings are saying, and they are right, but it is an aspect of race, underlying race issues behind a lot of these issues that we have no clue about. And I mean, because my point is very valid. You could be walking in the store, King Smash, just like you say, you could wave, and he may not wave at you because Canelo lost. And so this is what that's very true, King.
Yo,
and I have seen that.
Deep into
and even
that
in
box, I like that. Me too. Yo, hold on. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, well, let me get this. Let me say
crazy.
this. Even in the interview, I was in the interview last week, and the guy was Mexican. And I went in there and I just started speaking about soccer, you know what I'm saying, asking him who his greats was, who his favorites was, and started talking about boxing. Now, when I started talking about boxing and I didn't run straight to giving all the black fighters credit, you should have seen the look on his face. He a kid in the candy store, couldn't believe it. You like David Benavidez, you do? I'm like, yeah, man, he's a great fighter. Said strong, powerful fighter, man. I think he's great, man. I say Sebastian Fundora. I say he got knocked out, but great fighter. Now I'm doing this to test him now, to see what this is about, and see now the way that broke the ice. That told me, just like I called another one King in Spanish. I called him Ray. Should have seen the look on his face, because they be in the comments too. Y'all was kings, we was kings. They'll put that in the comment quick. They'll do it too. And so when I called him King, his damn face lit up. Like, wow, you see me as a brother? Armando. I say Armando, I be testing them. Call him Armando, different vibe. But a lot of them will come with a certain aspect due to feeling inferior as well, Smash. They tired of seeing, yeah, they might call those boys niggers. They say they black color, but we seeing something else. They see something different. They seeing the perfect man, 6 feet tall. They see him with the hair that defies gravity. They see him that he looked like the anime characters, but black because his hair's like Goku. They see him, he's the fastest in the world. He's the strongest in the world. He's the greatest fighter in the world. He's the greatest basketball player who ever lived. He's the greatest running back. He's the greatest this. Could have been the greatest quarterback. It wasn't for getting locked up. And every time you look around, he's beating everybody's ass and he's killing everybody. He's got the most body. So who is he? He's making the best music. We love the hip hop. The Weeknd is the #1 selling artist in the world right now, and it has been, and just broke Michael Jackson's record. This is a black man with an afro. #1 selling artist in the world, has captured the hearts of billions over this planet. A black man, the #1 again. So they be seeing something different. And that's a lot to your point, Smash. A lot of go into an Arab Indian store, and why do you get dirty looks off the rip? Everybody in there ain't stealing liquor. Everybody in there ain't no dope boy. Why you get the hatred going in the Arab store? Off the rip. Certain Asian stores off the rip. Because it's really an inferiority. They don't feel superior. See, they conflicted. They want to feel superior because the white boy tell them this, but they know he too little. How tall is he? 4'5", Asian, Mexican, 5'1". Come on, G. So they mad because you can't dunk already. And LeBron doing that, it's gonna cause a problem, my lord. So you very much correct.
Guys be mad they can't dunk. You said,
man, God, how would you feel? White man can't dunk.
So it's racism.
What the fuck? Show me a Mexican basketball player that's dunking like Kobe.
I like hearing from you, man.
Yeah, I like
King Smash, King Madjai, my great God. Show me a Mexican that was dunking that ball like Kobe and George. Show me just.
All right, well, it's like this, bro. Though, with honesty, I think it's about the thing. I mean, we do got some physical advantages, but it is about what you practice. Like they wasn't jumping, they was kicking. So they was doing that soccer, that football kicking. And
but
so
Pele's the GOAT. So they got it. They stuck there again. A black man. So and then who's Neymar?
Golly, but we go to everything. We go to everything physical, bro. We go to everything physical.
Running this King Madjai.
But you gotta feel it though. I'm saying we go everything physical, but it don't end there though. Like it don't stop there. Like
true indeed, Almighty. But they know. But then when you got the 3 black kids with the greatest IQ scores, even higher than Einstein, that's another problem. Then you go into Black history where we got our hands in mathematics. That's another problem, and that's why I love you, Almighty Madjai.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Got you defending the Aswan Dam. What they don't want to talk about.
They used to go get a lot of.
That's right.
They know
yeah, the brothers
Smash
on
is the one that's the one that's holding it down for us, giving them the mathematics. They're giving them what they need, King. What they got from us. How the Chinese boy, the Japanese boy feel when he see his kids don't want all of them dressing up and want to be like Ice Cube and Snoop and Tupac and over there breakdancing and shit in Japan. That's their culture. And then he turned around and see that the Great Walls of Benin was 5 times larger than the Great Walls of China. They got an inferiority, King. But what they try to do is keep the foot on your great neck, my great neck, our great necks, because they know what they dealing with.
Yeah, and
It's all around.
You said something brilliant right there, man. And that's how we build our confidence up, man. It's becoming great in all aspects of life, man, because we're not limited. We're not any less intelligent than the Europeans. We just came up in a system that taught us scientifically, because they was using pseudoscience, that we were. And so a lot of people internalized that and limited themselves. But I'm trying to say we don't got no limits. Anything that we want to do in life and just in general, we can do. We can be the fastest, we can be the best distance runners, we can be the best football players, we can be the best lawyers, we can be the best anything. And we've proven that through our example. And that's the message that I want a lot of people to understand, because we live in a society when you get certain images that's pushed through media and whatever other sources we want to deal with, it kind of, matter of fact, let me start what I'm saying. It's a quote that I grew up loving, that a person can only perceive a color he's already seen. So sometimes if you don't see the options in front of you or see the possibilities, you think you're limited to what's in front of your current face. And a lot of times we just got to show the new generation and these kids that you're limitless. Whatever they can do, you can do it better. And that's
you don't
that's
sound
what
like you don't sound like you have an inferiority complex, Kyle.
No, I didn't. Not currently, but when I grew up, I did. I'm not saying that I was this high confidence.
No, I got
kid
you.
up, but then when I realized these things, when I came to a certain level of understanding of who I was, and because I mean, when I grew up, I didn't know a lot about African history. I didn't know about, what I'm saying, the culture, the belief systems, and I thought
And
that
it
the only way.
sounds like whatever you were going through was self-imposed, being that the remedy of starting to think differently was just you started to think differently. It sounds like whatever you were going through, whether it's an inferiority complex or whatever it was self-imposed, which is why
Hold on. It wasn't
No,
self-imposed.
it
It
was
was
easy for you to get out
indoctrination
of it.
It was
By just changing your thinking.
what he came
It
the
was
environment.
If you can get out of it if you can get out of it by just changing your thinking, then it was self-imposed.
Well, no, I didn't necessarily impose it upon myself. It was a system that was created around me that led me to a certain understanding of who I actually was and my own greatness. I grew up in a projects. I grew up in a project homes. I actually went to a school that was probably the second richest school district in the state of Alabama. Y'all can Google it. It's called Vestavia Hill School System. Most people I went to school with was millionaires. I got to go there because I was an athlete, and you already know how that goes if y'all play sports. You're gonna bring the boys in that can run and do the, whatever. And so, but by getting opportunities, I realized that, wow, all this time I was wrong, because I'm scoring just as high as these people. I'm doing way better than them in a lot of aspects of life. And it taught me and it gave me that confidence that I needed to grow forward, to move forward. And it took me out of the current understanding of my environment, because I used to grow up and see people that I know, my cousins, my brother, everything, like murdered, killed, dying, selling dope, having limited possibilities. And I realized that the possibilities was limited because of the system that was created around us. If we can't acknowledge that there was a system of oppression that still exists within the Black community, then we're not going to progress, because we have to face that reality.
Yeah, what's honorable about what you just said is that you said that even though you kind of was successful, you can look at your brothers and cousins and people around you and see that it was still messed up. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I told y'all this story. I'm gonna try to go ahead, American Dream. I'll go after you.
Right. It's just interesting to me that, we, like, when we're talking about ourselves, we talk about the person we used to be, and then we talk about how us not being that way anymore. And the reason we're not that way anymore is because of our own doing and our own thinking. But we refuse to take responsibility for the thinking that put us where we were. Like, if I can just finish. If I can just finish.
But you said
let me
this.
just finish.
Repeated this, American Dream. You've got to stop.
Let me
You got to get on one accord. The answer is this, American
Let me just
Dream.
finish, though. Let me just finish.
You said
Let me
this
just
3-4 times. Go ahead. Go ahead, my lord. Go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead.
So, apparently, Dr. Ben gave a treatment right? And he also gave a diagnosis of what the problem was. He gave a diagnosis of what the problem was and a treatment. Right now, we're only looking at his treatment as being pseudo. Most of this community only looks at the treatment that he's looking at as being pseudo. And his treatment was to teach black people this that Jesus was black, that the Egyptians were black, that anything significant in history that happened were done by black people. That was his treatment to the problem, and the problem was his
Nah, I don't
diagnosis.
think that was his
Let me
treatment.
just finish.
He went
His
too far.
diagnosis.
Yeah, you just went too
Let me just
far.
finish. Let me just finish.
Everything he had said was black. He had evidence for.
Right.
Like you
but that
can't.
was
You
his
gonna argue
treatment.
that
His
Jesus was
treatment to the
white?
problem.
If Jesus
I'm not saying
existed, you
that.
think he was white?
No, what I'm saying is that was his treatment. His treatment to black people's inferiority complex was teaching them that Jesus was black, that the Egyptian, that was his treatment to the
No,
diagnosis.
you going into
Most people,
his treatment was
How
teaching
was
them
that
their
a
history,
diagnosis,
basically.
that's what I said,
That's
teaching
But you
them
just went into
teaching them their
specific
history.
points and tried to make it like his treatment was teaching them Jesus was black. That wasn't a lot of his teaching, actually. Which book was he focusing on Jesus being black?
Specifically, he was specifically trying to the imperial complex of by showing accomplishment.
But
Okay, we could
you
agree.
just
So
skipped
keep
a
going,
step,
keep
though.
going, keep going.
You need to answer to your
Treatment.
own question.
That was
You
his
keep talking about
treatment for the
treatment and
problem. The
diagnosis,
problem
but
is
what's
black.
the
According to
diagnosis,
him,
sir? What's the
according to
diagnosis?
him,
Oh Lord.
according to Dr. The diagnosis was the inferior complex. That's
Okay,
what
well, explain the
the problem was, that
diagnosis,
black
Dr.
people have a
I mean, so
Dre.
what's the big deal?
Explain the
Like,
diagnosis.
yeah.
No,
Go
How
get
did it
past
get
that.
diagnosed with that?
Let's
What
let
happened?
American Dream get to the next part of what he's trying to
Time-
say, because we with you on
Right.
that part. So go to the next part.
Oh my goodness.
Thanks. I really appreciate it. So most
Damn.
only look at
breaking
the
up.
treatment
Your
as
phone
being
start. You
pseudo.
broke
Idea
up.
Start
that
over.
black
Your
people have
phone. We didn't
inferiority.
hear
Can I
you.
just finish my
We
statement?
didn't hear you. Your
breaking
phone
up.
went out. Your phone went out. Start over.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me better now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we got you.
Right. So most people think that Dr. Ben's treatment was pseudo, like teaching this history about black people. Some people say that's all pseudo stuff, but they don't think that his diagnosis is pseudo. I think his diagnosis is also pseudo. This idea that black people have an inferiority complex because of slavery, I don't think that's true at all. I think that's a made up thing. And I think that black people, the minute we get over that, I don't necessarily think that the individuals in the black community that have an inferiority complex have it for the same reason that people in the white community would have an inferiority complex, or that any other people, they have inferiority complexes for the very same reasons, not because of slavery that didn't happen to them, that happened ages ago. I just don't see, and that's his diagnosis, is that their inferiority complex is because of slavery and because of what happened to them.
Nah. You
Think that
kind of
black
looking.
people today have that inferiority complex.
I feel you will. I mean, you allowed to say that, and I don't. I agree with you. I don't think that everybody do, but some do. That's all I'm saying. And really, you can't ignore the legacy of slavery, which is poverty.
Because of slavery, you think black people have an inferiority complex today?
Yes, because the legacy of slavery is poverty. You see what I mean? Like the legacy of having nothing is still having nothing thousands of years later, or 100 years later, however long. And having nothing is the root to around people who have things. That starts to, even if you a 5-year-old kid, you're gonna start crying. Just give 5 kids a toy, and the 6th kid don't get a toy.
It's simple.
What about an Italian who may have slavery in his history as well? Do you think that white?
So I just got through talking about how the poverty. It was the poverty.
There are white people today that have an inferiority complex.
So it ain't no poverty as the root coming after their slavery. You see the difference?
Wait, you think they went
promoted
you
like
think
ours?
you think that after these white people were slaves, they went right and just
No, I
became
think that the Italians that you have to analyze are now not living in no type of poverty-stricken state. I'm pretty sure if you was talking about this when the Irish was just still being slaves and stuff, then you would have a different assessment of their mental state at that moment. But poverty being the byproduct or coming after slavery allowed people 100 years after slavery to still say, man, we ain't got shit and I ain't got nothing to eat.
Man, you removing the fact that there is something called systematic slavery. I mean, systematic racism. Like you're removing that from this entire conversation to American Dream in particular. and that makes this a disingenuous conversation because you're going with the premise that all people who were descendants of some type of enslavement or I don't know whatever you want to call it for the Italians
Systematic
you're talking about.
racism.
You know what I'm saying? You're saying that all these people had a playing field and starting place because that's just not true.
No,
This is
you're
why
actually suggesting,
real
Kyle,
quick,
if I
because
may,
this
Kyle,
just
you're
real
actually
quick. There's
suggesting
hella
that black
multifault.
people
I'm
had
gonna
a
just say
special
this real
type of
quick, American
slavery.
Dream, if
You're
you'll
actually
allow me. Hold on,
suggesting.
you forgot.
no.
I don't want to have
I
to mute
I
you.
would appreciate
So
it if you would.
hold on, real quick. I just want to say something real quick. Because we're talking about all right, you can unmute yourself, American Dream. I just did that to get the floor. But this is what I want to say. We talking about inferiority complex like the word complex ain't on it. Meaning that it's multifold and there's hella different facets to it. Now let's talk about it. No race involved. You in a 1999 Corvette and a dude pull up in the light in the 2023 Corvette. You might still be proud, but there's a chance that some type of an inferiority complex might pop up. So I'm saying we can have inferiority complexes based on racism or some of the fruits that poverty give you after racism, not being able to have adequate clothing or adequate products. And that's all I wanted to say. That was my interjection.
But
Or equal
yo,
credit.
what up, Smash? What up, Kyle? What up,
What
Jay?
up with it?
What's up, King?
Sabio?
The one
What's
thing.
up, King?
What up, Rob? The one thing.
What's up, Great King?
The one thing
One of those things that my bad.
The one thing that America. I'll let you speak after I finish. Let me finish. Let me say what I was gonna say, Kyle. My bad for cutting
We
you
shall
off.
let me finish one time.
The one thing that American Dream does, and he does it intentionally. That's why I really don't respect him. He discredits the history that has been shown to has happened to the people that he says are having this so-called inferiority complex. He ignores it. He ignores that we are the only people, and I yelled it, and I say this to him every time. We are the only people in this country that are people by amendment. We are amended citizens. The 13th, 14th, and 15th amendments to the U.S. Constitution made us citizens in this country. He don't understand that. And he wonder why African Americans or black people in America have this so-called inferiority complex. Who else comes over to this country and are citizens by those amendments? You tell me this right now, American Dream. Tell me this right now, nigga.
Actually, it's crazy. His name is an oxymoron. I mean, he's the American Dream, but what's the damn dream, sir? What the hell are you talking about?
Nah, Rob. Don't let him move from what I just asked.
But if you the American Dream, what's the dream? The dream is to do what?
Rob.
Okay.
Rob, I need him to tell us who else in this country are amended citizens.
Denied.
Well, I guess he ain't. That answers the question right there, Sabio. It's a wrap.
There's two arrows.
A fucking wrap. So he shouldn't even be in these conversations if he's going to be purposely disingenuous.
Finish him.
No, I'm just Sabio, I don't want to talk to you. If you want to ask somebody to ask the question, that's cool, but I don't want to talk to you. Like, you just come on, you just always want to bark it. I'd rather talk to you. I'll answer someone else's question if they have a question.
All right,
Okay, well, let me
can you answer one of my questions,
question.
American Dream? American Dream, can you answer one of my questions?
Yes, sir.
My question is this, American Dream. Okay,
Oh, you gonna let him run, Rob?
Nah.
You finna let him run.
Damn, Savio, let me finish. Great
King.
My Lord. See, this is why you have to talk to y'all like this, my Lord, my great King, because this is the only way black African men understand, which is I understand that and respect that. These are lions of the flesh. This is Africa, the Atlas lions. What's up, God?
Don't let him run.
He ain't gonna run. Watch this.
Don't ask him about his name.
He was mentioning diagnosis. He was talking about being Black Americans being diagnosed with something. And so my thing is, you hold on to that arrow, Sabio. Hold on to it. I got another one.
All right, come on. You on the clock. Come on, Robert.
Okay, King. So, all right. So you keep talking about diagnosis, what we've been diagnosed with. You have to understand and address what occurred in order for us to be. If you're talking to a patient and he's being diagnosed with something, you have to talk to this patient. You have to ask him, what are your health issues? Have you had, does anyone in your family have diabetes? Have you broken an arm before? Have you ever had surgery? You know what I'm saying? How's your eyesight? Blah, blah, blah. You're talking with people. You need to understand what happened to these people. These people got fucked up, God. We are the lost. We are the ones that were forgotten. We the tossed away. We the thrown away. We the cast away. And that's why, like y'all been saying on this show, Great Kings. Yeah, we do got an inferiority complex and a superiority complex. We got both. And, you know what I'm saying?
Wait, y'all got both?
Yeah, we
You
got
see how
both.
you let him off the hook?
We do.
You see how you let him off the hook?
hilarious.
You got to respect that and understand that, man. You talking to a patient here. You want to know what's going on with this patient? Then talk to him. Understand what happened. He lost his language. He lost his culture. He lost his freedom. He was taken. Or either way you look at it, it's gone. We talking English right now. And even if you say we invented English, but then you want to talk about DNA and say, well, we can't, where's our language? So yeah, we might, but let's address that. Let's move on. We got one, but it's okay. We here. We battling. We in the I'm in the Audi right now, dog. I knocked the white. Come on, G.
Let him finish. Let him finish. Sabio, let him finish.
You know what I mean? I do this. I'm in an Audi right now, G. I'm an electrician, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I got the best tools in my book bag right now.
Sabio acting like he asked
shit.
a good question.
I'm on an iPhone 14 Plus. Yeah, we here, G. My sister in New York, she's an actress. You know what I'm saying?
He said he on
So,
iPhone 14. All right, hold on. Let's hear what Sabio got to say.
I got some
Come on, Sabio.
golden arrows to get a King Magi. Y'all holding this up with his trivial shit.
Robert, you got both a superiority complex and an inferiority complex. I'm not sure.
Let's act like
what's happening with you.
Let's act like bipolar opposites don't exist. Go ahead,
so
man.
you're bipolar. Okay, that explains it. You're bipolar. You're saying you're bipolar because of slavery.
Up and down, left and right.
Slavery made you bipolar. I got you, Robert. Slavery made you bipolar.
You see, Robert, can you, because he don't want to talk to me. So can you ask him the question, who else in this country?
I don't want to talk to him no more.
Robert,
it's no saving him, Sabio. Let's get these golden arrows to smash.
Come on, man. Robert.
It's this man's lost, God.
Hey, you ain't hearing him, Sabio. He don't want to talk to him.
Robert,
right, go ahead, Sab. Get him.
Listen.
Off with his head, God.
Robert, listen.
What?
The perfect question was asked. You let him run. Ask him the question that he said he don't want to answer for me. Who else in this country are amended citizens? That's the only question he needs to be answering. He don't need to be running around, dancing around, saying anything about it.
Okay, he gonna run when I ask him now. He gonna say, well, it's coming from Sabio. So he's never gonna get the answer to that question.
Robert, just ask me what I just asked you to ask.
Hello, American Dream, sir. Are you still there?
That's all he needs to answer.
Can you explain who in this country are unamended citizens?
I don't know what an unamended citizen is. I don't know what that means.
Amended. Citizens
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. What's an amended citizen?
Okay, we are citizens by the 13th Amendment. All right,
we got golden arrows on deck.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Hold on, Robert Brown. I got this.
American Dream, who should know this, and Sabio, who's just the boy. This #1 Magi Ultra right here, G. He ain't letting nothing slide.
Yo, I got this.
Sabio.
I got
Sabio, your #1 archer.
I got this. I got this. So 13th Amendment to the Constitution gave us freedom. The 14th Amendment gave us equal protection under the law. The 14th Amendment gave us equal protection under the law. The 15th Amendment gave us the right to vote. So those 3 amendments, before they was written into the U.S. Constitution, African Americans were not considered citizens.
No, there were
those
free
amendments
blacks
was
that were
passed.
citizens. No, there
Hush,
were free blacks that were
hush,
citizens.
hush,
There were free
hush.
blacks
I don't.
that were
I
citizens.
need you.
You
I
hush.
need. I need you. I need you.
No,
I
no,
need you
you
to
hush.
listen.
There
I
were
don't need
free
you to
blacks
respond.
that were
I need you to
citizens.
listen.
Y'all
I
is
need you. I
comedy,
need.
bruh.
I need you to. I
He's
need
That
you to
comedy.
was
pay
some that was
attention.
some
He's
that was a
comedy.
good
Don't tell me
breakdown by
about no free
Sabio
black.
though.
Go ahead,
Hold up,
Sabio.
hold up.
Savio got a round of applause.
What's so break down the significance of that Sabio
I have
to,
no
to
idea.
That's
American
what
Dream.
I'm
Cause hold
trying
on,
to
because
do
American
if he
Dream
will
didn't know
allow
what you
me.
was talking about. So
And neither
break
do
down
you,
the
James.
significance of
Go
that
ahead. Tell him
to
you don't know what
American
he's talking
Dream.
about either, James. Go ahead. Tell him. You
What?
have no clue. You don't know
So
what he's talking
No,
about
I
either.
know exactly what he's talking about, but
Then you
evidently you
tell me
said
what he's
you did
talking about.
not.
Then tell me
You
what he's
said
talking about.
you the one said that you didn't. So what I'm saying,
Tell
I
me what
want
he's
him to
talking
break
about,
down
James. I dare you.
why is he trying to tell you this?
James, tell me what he's talking about.
He's
I know
talking
you
about
didn't
the
know.
13th and
I know
14th
you didn't know.
Amendments, which he just broke it down in simplistic terms. One gave us the right to not be victims of this country. One gave us
Gave
the
who
right
the
to
right?
vote. One
Who the
gave us
right?
another right. So
Gave who the right?
before that, we didn't have these rights as a citizen in this country. That's
Gave
what he's
who the
talking
right?
about.
Wake up!
That's not
Wake
true.
up!
Oh, okay.
There were free blacks in
can you
this country before
Well,
then.
hold
Can you
on.
mute him?
Let me mute out.
Can you mute
There
him?
were free blacks
Because
in this
now he's talking
country that
about.
were citizens
Can
and had
you
full
hush?
rights as citizens.
Can your dumb ass hush? Because you don't
Oh,
know anything
Jesus.
about the history of this country. You're talking about a
Okay.
few free blacks who earned their freedom through what?
They didn't, no, they
Manumission.
were free from the
Hush!
beginning.
I don't
You
need you to
hush.
talk.
You hush.
I need you to listen. Because
You
apparently
hush.
you don't know the history.
You think every free black used to be a slave and then got their freedom?
Bro, can you
You're
be
silly.
quiet?
You be quiet.
All right,
Can you
come
be
on, let's
quiet?
work
You
this
don't.
out.
You
Y'all
don't
just
know
got
what
the
you're
blah blah
talking
blah
about.
blah 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 blah. Hold on, so let's go one at a time. Let's let Sabio mount his contention and let's let America's Dream, pardon me, respond. Thank
No one is saying there were not free blacks. This is your misunderstanding. What I'm saying is that those free blacks earned their freedom through either manumission or what? Their masters gave them their freedom, or they worked and they were able to buy their freedom. We have the evidence of this. Now, what I'm talking about are the descendants of those who were not able to earn their freedom. My ancestors and some people's ancestors on this chat. The 13th Amendment set us free, made slavery illegal in this country unless
I know you
it
didn't
was
know.
what?
I know you didn't
Part
know.
of criminal punishment. All right, so if you were being tried and convicted of a crime, you can do what they consider, you can be considered what they call a slave. That's the 13th Amendment. The 14th
We can go back and
Amendment,
forth, right? This is a back and forth. We
Shut
can go
up.
back and forth.
You're gonna
See,
be
this
able
is
to
exactly why I
respond
don't
once
want to
he's
talk to you.
done.
This is
You'll
why I
be
don't
able
want
to
to talk
respond
to you.
once he's
I'm
done.
almost finished. I'm laying this out for you very plainly and simply because you don't want to read. So the 14th Amendment gave us the protections that are afforded to every other American under the law. So we can do the same things white people can do to us. We can take them to court. We can sue them. Equal protection under the law. And the 15th Amendment gave us the right to vote, which actually made us citizens, because you are not citizens of a country until you can participate in the one thing that makes a nation, voting.
So can I ask you a question now?
So,
can I ask you a question now?
I don't need you to ask me no questions. I'm almost through.
Oh, you
wrap
said
it
that
up.
2 minutes ago.
So,
wrap it up, bro.
Once those amendments was passed, the African Americans and their descendants officially became citizens of this nation called America. So the question I need you to answer before you ask me a question is, what other people in this nation are citizens under the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment? Then you can ask me your question.
I don't know. Now let me ask you a question.
I don't need you to ask me no questions then. I'm not answering any of your questions.
So let me ask the panel a question. And y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. But it sounds as if what Sabio the Wise, he calls himself, it sounds as if what Sabio the Wise is suggesting is the reason that black people today have an inferiority complex
I like that
is
Sabio.
because
Wow.
of the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments,
Did
because
this
they
nigga
were
just say
amended
that?
in as citizens. And that's the dumbest
Wow,
shit
this
I
nigga
have ever
dumb.
heard. Is
This
that your
nigga
point,
dumb.
Sabio? Tell us that's not your
So
point.
No, that ain't right.
Sabio, if that's
How did
not
you
your
even get
point,
that?
Sabio,
How did
Sabio, if that's not your point, tell us
you,
what your
did you see
point
how?
is.
Do y'all see how stupid this nigga
If
is?
that's not your point, Sabio,
Well,
tell
he
us what
kind
your
of
point is.
wilding out. I ain't gonna lie.
let me translate for you, Sabio. All right.
Tell
So
us
what
what your
Sabio?
point is, Sabio. If
What,
that's not your point, tell us your point.
I'm a translator. I got this. I got this. What Sabio is saying is that African Americans, people who was not slaves, I mean, who were slaves, the descendants of slaves in America, have a unlevel starting playing field,
Which explains their inferiority complex.
And
right,
so,
Kyle?
yes.
But I thought
exactly.
you said,
That's his point, and that's a dumbass point. You're telling me there's a
No,
black person
wait, hold on,
in
hold on,
Texas
wait,
today
hold
with an
on.
inferiority
So
complex
are you
because of the
saying that?
Constitution. That's some dumb shit. And if that person does have an inferiority complex because of the Constitution, he's a
American
dumbass.
Dream.
nah,
Sabio,
I
if
mean,
you have an
I
inferiority
mean,
complex,
I don't know.
Sabio,
You're
if
going
you
too
have
far
an
a little bit,
inferiority
American Dream.
complex because of the
American Dream, are you
Constitution,
saying that?
you're a
You don't even
dumbass.
understand why I brought those up.
Sabio,
This shows
if
you how
you have an
stupid this nigga is.
This conversation
This
is
shows you
so
how
spiraling
dumb he
downhill.
is.
Sabio, you are so stupid.
This shows you how dumb he is. Hey, everybody, this shows you how dumb he is. That ain't why I brought him up in that.
I just did a collective mute, and y'all can easily come off one by one, but come off with some calmer energy. Matter of fact, let's let my brother Carl, who haven't get a word in yet, get his first word in. What's up with Carl? Maybe this was your first or second time on the panel. You got the floor. You gotta take yourself off mute though.
After Carl, let me respond to what American Dream said because that's horrible.
You shut your mouth.
Oh boy,
that's horrible. All right, so look, that lets you know.
I thought you was gonna go after Carl. If you come off mute, Carl. If not, then just what's up to you. I just was trying to intermission in their fight they was having. All right, you say it's all good. You got to find the mute button in the lower left-hand corner of your phone or something. You press if you press the screen, you're going to see a microphone. There you go.
Yeah, he on right now.
Hold on, we listening to Carl.
Go let Sabio and American Dream battle it out for a minute.
No, I'm not even finna battle it out. All I'm gonna say is that lets you know what I said had
you got nothing to
with
battle out, Sabio. What you said is dumb.
Listen,
shut your mouth and
how
get
you
off
know
the
he
panel.
don't want me to talk. He's talking over me now.
Why y'all got me rolling? I don't care.
He's talking over me. Let me say what I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna be done. That let everybody know he didn't understand why I brought those up. Had nothing to do with inferiority. I was asking him, I brought the amendments up to show him that our ancestors.
Kyle thought that's what the hell your dumbass was saying too. You dumbass.
There you go. And you hush.
Go ahead, clean it up. Try and clean up.
Bro.
Go ahead, Sabio. Try and
Hey,
clean up.
your dumbass, sit down.
Go ahead and clean up.
All right, come on. Now y'all really got some good content going on, but y'all dirty and y'all messing it up. Act scholastic. You know, go back to just beat each other with the knowledge, not the insults. Go ahead.
So the reason I brought him up is so he can understand the history, not anything about to do with this so-called inferiority complex. I want him to that's why I asked him the question and he said he don't know.
Why the hell would you bring it up in an inferiority complex conversation? We're talking about an inferiority complex. Talk about the history that has nothing to do with it. Hush your mouth.
I don't interrupt you when you talk.
I'm gonna try a new format, but they don't allow you on Zoom. I'm gonna try this real quick. I'm going back to this. Let's do the one at a time. I don't know if I could get some settings that say, hold on, allow participants to unmute themselves. So I'm gonna take that off, and I'm gonna try to unmute y'all one by one. And since I'm gonna go ask American Dream to unmute. Can you unmute American Dream? This might make for a better show. So say your piece until you finish.
Yes, sir. He can try to clean it up all he wants. He's fundamentally, the reason he's bringing up the history and amendments is in a conversation about inferiority complex. He's trying to explain where this inferiority complex comes from. And he's trying to say the reason why only black people are having this inferiority complex is because only black people are amended into the Constitution. Who else has gone through that, he says? That's his only point. And the reason he's being combative right now is because he knows that that's his point, and he knows it's a dumbass point. And I don't even understand why we're even carrying on as if it's not. We all know it's a dumb point, but let's entertain Sabio the wise.
All right, I'm putting you. Yeah, you back on mute. I'm gonna ask Sabio to come off mute. You got the floor until you want to finish talking.
So again, the only reason I brought him up is to show the history. The history. So if he's not taking into account everything that happened after, meaning the Black Code, the Slave Code, all the Civil Rights Movement, all of them, not the 1964, you had like 3 or 4 before them. He has to take into all these things, even up till today, with the because one of the things that he benefited from, I'm going to put him on blast right now, is one of the amendments added to the Constitution, or adding, which is affirmative action. That was just stripped. You see, this is how we allow these people who don't know the history, then they come over and they benefit from the things that was meant for the marginalized, enslaved ancestors or ex-enslaved and descendants of African Americans. So he benefited from affirmative action. He got his good job from affirmative action. He got his good college education from affirmative action. But this is all remnants, all stem from what? The 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment. Because apparently in the 60s, in the 50s, education wasn't equal. So they had to do what? Have a Brown versus Board of Education. Then the Equal Amendment, the affirmative action was passed. You see, that's why you have to understand the history before you make these stupid ass comments about self-esteem, self-worth, and all that. You're going into a realm where you only are coming off your emotions and what you think, because what you have saw and what you have heard from your white partners who have taught you this shit, bro. You have to stop it. And you actually have to get into the history to understand how this so-called inferiority complex that some of our people suffer from, why it is prevalent and why it is in the community. Because as most of us have tried to tell you since we've been talking to you, the field ain't never been equal for Black people in this country. Ever.
You back on mute? Because I'm going to let American Dream respond before I hear from Kyle if he out there. Let's see if, Sabio went back on mute. There we go, American Dream. I'm asking you to come off and respond.
I mean, exactly. He thinks I don't understand the inferiority complex because I'm not thinking about the history. So again, he thinks the history of the amendment explains why there are Black people today with an inferiority complex. And what I'm saying is, I'm saying that there's no way I believe that's true. That sounds ridiculous to me. But if it is true, if Sabio is correct, and there are Black people today suffering from an inferiority complex and whatever history he wants to suggest, if there are Black people going through that, there's no way you cannot tell me that that's not self-imposed. That is a self-imposed thing that they've brought onto themselves, that inferiority complex. Because
hold up.
Do such a thing.
You earned yourself back on mute. Now we're going to make it so everybody can come off mute as they please because you lost. I'll let y'all both get the floor, and you wound up at a point saying that Black people imposed see, this what happened when you let people talk this shit out. You get to find out who actually buck dancing, shucking, and jiving. Black people impose it on themselves. Let me go allow participants to unmute themselves. Y'all come off as you so choose. But
Man,
that
let
was
me get this
crazy.
nigga.
Yeah, go ahead, Kyle.
Hold on.
See, he already fried himself. Now the party back on now.
The least you could do, Smash,
No,
is say
go
what I
ahead.
said.
Anybody, go
The
ahead.
least you
All right,
could
no,
do,
we're gonna
Smash.
go back. Hold up,
Smash.
I like that
The least you
format.
could do is say.
We're going back to that format. I'm gonna let Kyle get the unspoken floor. Hold on, let me see. I'm gonna put you back on mute and then ask Kyle to come off. Fry this food, man. Hold on, get this guy. You speak as long as you want. You got it.
All right, man. Look, let me gather myself before I do Sabi on this nigga, man. All right, so the issue that I have with you, American Dream, is because you remove all the accountability from Europeans that have oppressed Black people historically. You remove that shit, bro. I got my foot on these people's necks. They have to be held accountable for what they do and what they are doing. You sit here and you deny that these systems of systematic racism exist in America because you got this American dream concept in your head, in your mind. That's not reality for the majority of Black people, bro. The majority of African Americans are in the crust, or they are the victims of a system that is built against them. You gotta look at, like Fabio was saying, voting rights. You gotta look at just human rights in general. You gotta deal with the disparity of education, the tax dollars that's being spread in our neighborhood, the over policing of our communities. You gotta deal with the fucking. I'm upset right now. I can't believe you just said that, bro. You gotta deal with gerrymandering. You gotta deal with all these different things that are obvious that exist within our community that's holding back Black people daily. You have if you can't see this, bro, you are not looking at our community. You are not looking at the overall the life of an African American person in this country. Now, me personally, I can see this. I'm taking a 30-foot view. I'm stepping back and I'm looking, and it's red lining. It's another one from the chat right there. You got all these different things that are existing, and they're obvious. These things have also been addressed by many local governments, local body politics, because they know it's a problem, because these are the people that are looking at it and evaluating these things. So, like, I want to hear how you deal with these things that are known issues that are the products of a system of systematic racism, and how do you just brush this away and say that don't happen? Because these are the things that causes an inferiority complex to an individual. A person who doesn't have a proper education is expected to go out into the workforce and compete with a person who's been educated with all the taxpayer dollars that they've received from a school district, from tax dollars. Like, how do you explain that? Because that make sense, bro. Because you really right now sounding like, I ain't gonna disrespect you, but you really don't sound like you part of the Black community as a whole, because you're not culturally tied. You don't have any ties or identity to what we're saying. You seem as if you are dismissive to anything about the Black community, and that's my concern with where you going, man. I know I may be all over the place. You kind of touched the nerve when you said that shit don't exist, and I'm trying to say that, like, either you lying or you just haven't observed it. Like, which one is it?
All right, that's good. Now, I gotta say, I must like this format, and we got the raise your hand thing going on, because we'll open it back up and let it go out again. But this is a much better for the viewership, and so I see American Dream wants to respond. You got the floor until you're finished.
Until I'm finished, or until you decide to mute me again?
Well, if you go pseudo, I'm definitely gonna come in with that, because you said Black people inflicted on themselves. You lost that round, so this is the next round. You in the next round. Go ahead.
No, that's not what I said. What I said was any Black person who's feeling that because of the Constitution is inflicting it on himself, because that just sounds silly to me.
Oh, because of the Constitution. Anyway, my bad. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. But anyway, to respond to what Kyle said, I am Black, Kyle, but I don't identify as Black. I'm 5'11", but I don't identify as 5'11". Like that's not my identity. I don't consider myself to be a part of the 5'10". I don't consider myself to be a part of the 5'10" community. Like I don't identify as something that I don't have a choice in. I don't have a choice in what my color is, so I don't identify as my color. I don't have a choice in what my height is, so I don't identify as that. To identify as something that I don't have a choice in is dangerous to me. That's a very dangerous thing, and people will
Now,
try
hold
to
on. I'm just
control you.
moderating and I'm not trying to identify you, but you didn't choose your family either, and you identify with that. But keep going.
What do you mean?
No
How do you
one
know that? How do
chooses
you
their
know? How do
family.
you know?
Hopefully, I mean, not hopefully, because your life could be what you want it to be. But at some point in time, you identify with your family, even though you didn't choose them. So I just contradicted what you were saying, but go right ahead.
Right, but you don't necessarily know about me and my family relationship. You don't necessarily know that
Yeah, and
at
I'm
all.
not trying to
But
encroach upon that, bro, but I'm just saying that's how the normal existence works for people. At some
indeed,
point in
indeed,
time, they
and you do,
associate
and
with
you
family,
do.
and they didn't pick that family. So keep going.
Right, right, sure. In that respect, I don't necessarily have a choice in my family, but I don't identify as them. Right, I identify as being one of their brothers, but that's not my identity. Like it's just something totally different. Like to identify as black means is something totally different. And I don't even know what that means, to be honest. So if you ask me if I'm black, I'll say, yeah, my skin, because that's what my skin color is. But are black people my people? Not necessarily. I don't identify as that the same way 5'10" people aren't my people. Like the idea to me is like saying because I'm 5'10", then 5'10" people are my people. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, do all 5'10" people think alike? No. Do all black people think alike? No. So why are they all my people simply because they match like a physical characteristic that I have? That's just not a sensible and responsible way. To me, that's not a responsible way for me to decide who my people are. Like who I determine my people to be has to be something. We have to have something, some beliefs in common, and our values have to be the same. It cannot just be something that I had no control over at all. That just sounds dangerous to me. What I would ask though, and I really want to ask this question to everyone on the panel, if there's anyone on here who will admit that they do have an inferiority complex. Is there anyone on the panel today that will say, yes, I have an inferiority complex?
All right, thank you for your diatribe, American Dream. I'm going to go first because that's probably nothing nobody can do. I mean, but I'm pretty sure I got an inferiority complex about something. As we talk about a complex, we talk about multiple points. Maybe I would think inferiority complexes probably got 10,000 points inside of them. Like, oh, am I too tall? Am I too fat? Am I out of shape? Am I this? And to say that you ain't never affected by no thoughts about yourself when you
I'm
think.
sorry, Smash. I'm sorry, Smash. To be specific, I'm talking about an inferiority complex about slavery or the amendments, that type of stuff. Does anyone on here feel like they are experiencing that inferiority complex that Sabio is suggesting and that everybody on the panel really is suggesting? Because it sounds as if y'all are suggesting that black people have it, but then you won't admit that you're one of them that have it. So I'm specifically asking the inferiority complex that comes from slavery and the amendments and all of that. Does anyone on this panel suffer from that inferiority complex?
Okay,
Not
thanks
talking
for
about you're too
reiterating.
short or too fat, or I'm
Somebody
not talking
raised their
about that.
hand. Thanks for reiterating, and we're going to hear from Kyle to let him answer it.
All right, so when you deal with the people that have been oppressed, this is not exclusive to African Americans, but we are the most current representation of this institution. When an individual has been stripped from language, culture, religion, has been denied education, denied equal opportunity in the workforce, that has been denied its basic human rights, an individual over a period of time would feel inferior to the people who are given that option or given those available rights? Can we agree? Like, because this is second grade level stuff, man. We gotta walk down the street and hold your hand for this, apparently. But can we agree that if those things are stripped from an individual, that they would feel inferior to the individuals in that society that have those rights? Can we start there at least? Can you answer that
I'm the
question?
only one who can respond, so I definitely can agree because I'm not gonna let nobody off. We have a fight, but we're gonna go to James, Rich, then Sabio as the order of the hands. But you still got the floor. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, but like, so that's the issue that we're having because we're all logical here. The people who have their hands raised, they have questions with American Dream's terrible premise for this entire argument because we all understand basic humanity and we understand that there's a cause and effect. Something that was done caused a people to be in a certain situation, and the after effect of that situation is a lowering of self-esteem because it makes you feel like you cannot do something because you're limited by a glass window or a glass floor. Like if you can't see that, then American Dream, you already said that you don't identify as black, and I can see clearly why you don't, because you don't identify with the black experience. The black experience is not a monolith. There's multiple black experiences, but if you can't see the majority of the people that are in America and the continent of Africa that have been affected by colonialization, by the effects of oppression, then you, sir, are turning a blind eye, or you're a liar. One of the two. And I don't know which one it is. I ain't saying which one you are, but I'm saying it's got to be one of those two options because you can't study history and not see these things. You can't be active in your politics without knowing these things are existing. And I'm asking you, which one is it? Do you just don't want to see it because you want to have this great utopia of America, or do you just deny that these atrocities happen to African Americans?
Finish him.
All right, that's cool. Now I think James was ready to come on the floor. And so remember that question for you, American Dream, because I like this order. It's popping. But we're gonna open it up after everybody get to speak their piece. I asked James to unmute.
Yeah. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so what I want to it's kind of like confusing what American Dream, he comes on here. We all familiar with his stance on a lot of weird stances that he has. But I noticed that he has an accent, seemingly, and I want to kind of delve into that part of it because it's confusing to all of us why he has the particular stance that he has.
Okay, so would you like to do a back and forth and let me unmute his mic and yours at the same time?
Yes,
this
sir.
still your floor time, so tell me when to get him out of here. Okay.
I would like to have a dialogue
there
with
you go.
About maybe because I don't know, unless he's being secretive about his heritage. Like, when did he come to America? Is he from America? And because it's just confusing.
Well, I asked him to unmute twice, and that may not be something. There you go. American Dream's here, and so it's only you two, and I'm out of here. Go ahead.
Okay, so that was the two questions that I really wanted to ask. Like, are you from America? And if not, where are you from? And when did you get to America? At what age did you get here? If you are, or if you aren't. Okay, that's what I really want.
Jamaica when I was 14.
So you got here when you was 14. So now, what about American history are you conflicted with? And then what's going on in Jamaica? Like, what don't they have?
So it sounds like.
Hold on. So don't Jamaica have some type of colonial history or enslavement history to reason how your people got there? Or am I making that up?
Sure. I'm sure they do. Yes, they do. They have a colonial past, and they do have people. Jamaica, actually, as a country, I believe Jamaica is trying to get reparations from England for slavery. So yeah, there is the whole talk about the effects of slavery in Jamaica as well.
So you disagree with that?
Yes.
So you must be married to a European. Excuse me, man. I mean, like something is wrong. But let me go on the mute
you're
back
getting
out,
like
man.
personal. You
I'm
want to know what
done because
year I
something I
came
just
Nah,
here?
can't
we're
You want
gonna
to
get
know
move
how
to the
down.
old
next.
I
Hold
Like,
am?
but
on.
something is
You want to know
going
who I'm
on with it.
married
We
to?
All right, cool. Now we're going back to the mute, and I'm gonna ask, but he got his relevant point off, and so I'm gonna close this, and I need to ask. I think it was. I'm sorry, Sabio. I think Mr. Rich was in front of you. I'm gonna go in order, Tuck my eye. So try to remember your question. I mean, not Mr. Rich. Yeah, Mr. Rich was in front of you. I think, if I'm not mistaken. And if people don't want to speak, put their hand down. Oh, I think he put his hand down. So I'm gonna go to Sabio. Oh no, he didn't mean to put his hand down. I'm asking you to unmute Mr. Rich.
Oh, okay, I got it now. I had to
All
unmute.
right, speak as long as you want, bro. You got the floor.
Okay, American Dream, which is the black man's nightmare anyway. Let me ask you a question, bro. So you say you don't think that the colonialism and where the people in Jamaica came from, out of slavery is true, you said?
So you said if I don't think that it's true that they went through that
Yeah.
Jamaica was colonized? No,
Yeah,
Jamaica
yeah,
was
yeah.
a colony. No, Jamaica was a
Oh,
colony
okay,
of
okay,
England.
okay, okay. Okay. Now let me ask you a question. Why do you think they came up with black studies? Because you know what I'm saying, it's a reason why they came up with black studies.
Why do I think they came up with it?
Mm-hmm.
I think that there were some black people who felt it was important to have black history included in school, or more black history than was being included.
Why do you think that that was necessary? You think it was a problem before that? Because I'm just trying to break it down slow.
Do I think it was a problem before that? I didn't live during that time,
Yeah.
so I'm sure whoever
Well, I mean,
proposed
we
it
know
thought
we
there
didn't.
was a problem.
We know
No,
we didn't
whoever
live during
proposed
that
it
time, but
thought
we
there was a
have.
problem.
Listen, we know we didn't live at the time, but we have some called history, right? And we read books of what happened back then. So, when the government had bombed, cities in Alabama, you think that's true, or you think that's not true?
When the government did what?
Bomb
Bombed
the people
cities
in
and
Tulsa. Yes, the people in I think in Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma.
you
The
talking about Black Wall Street?
yeah, Black Wall Street. You think that happened? You think that actually happened?
That the government bombed them?
Mm-hmm. I mean,
No,
we've seen
I
we've
don't
seen
remember
we
reading about that about Black Wall Street. I don't remember that being the way that Black Wall Street ended, by the government bombing them. So no, I don't agree that that's how Black Wall Street
so
ended.
so you don't believe that they had like planes and shit. They've been dropping like bombs and stuff on the people.
I don't remember reading anything about that. You would
Okay.
have
All
to
right. All
provide
right. All
that
right. All right. All right.
information
All
that
right.
the
Cool.
government
All right.
did that.
Cool. All right. Cool. Cool. So you know what Sheikh Anta Diop and all the black officers was trying to do, right? Trying to explain how we were the ancient Egyptians, and they were black and stuff. Trying to bring back, trying to combat what they were saying about black people as far as us being inferior, and not being those people, right? I mean, those things goes on, right?
Yeah, I believe that there are some people who that's what their perception of what Auntie Diop was doing. Yeah, I get that there are people with that perception that that's what they were doing.
All right, last thing. Now you do know that there was something called slavery in America, right? You know that, right?
Yes.
And what do you think the ramifications of slavery? 400 years of us working for free. You know what I mean? The white man got control of the education, everything. You think that it was a little bit unfair after we got out of slavery, and they didn't project a
What was
um
unfair?
what was unfair after slavery? After slavery, we had to go back work on the plantation as sharecroppers, and some of us didn't have jobs. You know what I mean? They had the Freedmen's Bureau. Do you think that was fair when all that shit was going on? Like we wasn't kind of like behind at that point for 400 years of working for free. So you think that because they
Well,
had the
I
control over
think
education. Now listen, they got control over education, everything, the dictionaries, everything, and they were promoting us as being inferior. It was a negative stigma put on our people. Do you agree?
um I agree that there were people who were trying to put a negative stigma on blacks. Absolutely. There were people trying to put a negative stigma on Italians, on the Scottish at one
Wait,
point, on
wait, wait, wait,
Chinese.
wait, wait,
Like
wait. We're not
it
talking about
happens.
those. We're not. But we're not talking about those
So
people. We're talking about
yes,
black
yes,
people.
I believe it did
Specific.
happen.
You did happen, and they did put a negative stigma towards us, right? And say that we were inferior, right? And spread
Yes.
it throughout. And spread it throughout the black community, throughout the world, right? Because the world still thinks it, right?
I don't know about that. I don't know about all of that. I think, they were only concerned, the people who were concerned with, being racist against black people were only concerned with their own property in America. And I don't think they really cared much about whether the world thought that about them. I just don't know. You may
I
be
mean, I
stretching it a
thought
little bit.
England. I thought like when England went to Nigeria, weren't they really racist to people over there? I don't know if it was England or one of those countries. Fela Kuti went there. He was talking about how they felt about us too. And this is in another country, how they thought we was inferior and less than a human. You don't think that they
Right,
think like that in other countries? I'm
yeah,
just trying to
but you're
show you where a lot of this
suggesting,
is connected.
but you're suggesting, but what I'm saying to you is you're suggesting that all of that is going to add to the inferiority complex that black people have and explain why they can't really, do better for themselves. But you just mentioned the Black Wall Street and what happened with Black Wall Street actually happened in the 1920s, in the early 1920s, which is like 50, 60 years removed from slavery. So 50 to 60 years removed from slavery, black people were able to build Black Wall Street, and it was the best thing
And what
going.
happened?
50
And what
years
happened?
removed
And
from
what happened?
slavery.
And what
And
happened?
what happened is now 400 years.
No,
No,
no, no, no, no.
whatever.
What
So
happened to that?
apparently they didn't have, listen, let me finish, please. Apparently they didn't have no inferiority complex, right? But 400 years removed from it, we're now saying we have an inferiority complex because of slavery. And I'm like, I
It
can't see the
comes.
connection. I can't see where Black Wall Street could have been built 50 years outside of slavery. And black people today are still complaining that they can't do anything because of slavery. This just seems it just
So
seems
you
kind
telling
of
me
Hold
there's
on, hold
no
on, hold on, Mr.
systematic
Rich.
oppression, man?
I just got him out your
I'm done.
segment, so you can end your segment with you
Yeah, I'm
talking,
done,
Mr.
man.
Rich. You got
Yeah,
the
it's
final
just like
words.
it's. Yo, I'm saying it's kind of silly the way he's thinking. And when he says he's not a part of the community, he lives in the black community. He's from Jamaica. How the hell you can say you're not a part of the black community? You're from Jamaica and you're living in America. I mean, what is he part of the trans community or something? I just can't get it. Especially with a name like American Dream, we shouldn't. We shouldn't. I'm saying from that it's silly. Having a name like American Dream, you're a black man.
Yeah,
That's
that's
silly
right.
in itself, man. That's it, man.
So what we're gonna do is we know that effort got denied, but we're gonna let Sabio come in here.
Finish him.
So let me unmute Sabio. Then we're gonna go on to our next topic and let everybody come off. But we'll try to keep the same order. And I think it was like Kyle, Robert, Asar Stupides. But Sabio, if you could come off mute, you got the floor. And go on and finish this, man.
Yeah, this is horrible because everybody up here has been trying to show this man exactly the things that he needs to learn. And he purposely overlooks it. And this is the intentionality in the things that he's saying. That's why sometimes I like using visuals, but sometimes the visuals don't work. Like he was just talking about Black Wall Street wasn't bombed. I think you need to read more about that before you talk about this history. I ask you this all the time. You have gotten your history lesson from white Republicans, and they have misled you.
Samuel, your father.
Okay, go away. So what I'm going to do, if I can share my screen, is I'm going to pull up something to show you where this inferiority complex comes from. Okay?
Go right ahead, bro. Take
What
all
I'm
the
going to
time
be
you
pulling
want.
up on the screen is called right here. This is Blackamoor rhetoric in early English literature. Okay. Blackamoor rhetoric. Now, these are some of the ideas that we are still fighting today in America about our skin color being what? Looked at as evil.
Something
Hold up.
it says Savio had started screen sharing, but it hadn't never started sharing.
Yeah. I got it. I had to reshare it. My fault. So, all right. So, let me see. Where do I need to go for you? There's a certain part. All right. And I need to show you exactly how this idea of our skin being evil is still affecting us today, because I don't think you really pay attention to it. And that is the stigma. Our skin is a curse. A curse. And I'm just going
let me ask you a question real quick for the people in the chat. What is your stance quite clearly on this inferiority complex thing?
Oh,
it's like what you saying by showing us this source.
So what I'm showing him is where this inferiority complex would stem from.
That some might have, but it ain't. You ain't saying everybody got it. Okay, cool, great.
Right. That he said everybody got, and this is how it will be transferred to our people through this religious literature. All right. Number one, that was the number one way this was passed. So if you can see right here, I know you can read very well. So this is from one of the biggest things that Christians and Hebrews like to use, the Talmud. You see, look what happened. And this is the so-called curse of Ham, who is supposed to be the descendant of or the ancestor of the people from Africa, according to this mythological book that a lot of our people are smitten by. So as you see, our skin is the reason for us being sinners, evil, wicked people, continuously. Cursed be Canaan. May God make his face black. Cursed be. We are cursed. Okay? So as you continually see this going all the way back in that.
Hold on my show. Somebody watching thinking you believe that shit. So,
I don't believe this shit.
All right, that's what I just had to butt in. Ain't nobody cursing, not on this channel.
But
yeah, exactly. I just did that for the viewers who think you. Hell no, but keep going.
I don't believe this shit at all. But I'm just showing you where this idea and how this shit will become prevalent. Why? Because this shit was instilled in our ancestors. This was beaten into them. Our skin made it where we would have to be what? Come into contact with Christians. So our demonic, you see this right here? That's what I was looking for. Blackness as morally negative, evil, or demonic. No biblical text, but watch this. I want you to keep reading. I gotta go up because I gotta show you where all this shit is going. Where all this shit is leading. I should have started at the top, but I did that for a reason. You see, these cultures instinctively associate darkness and blackness with fear, negativity, and evil. An offshoot of this mode of consciousness is that negative perceptions are transferred to people with dark or black skin, as reflected in stories, proverbs, and iconic cultural images. This legacy of myth and inherent mode of perceiving blackness as part of the universal human psyche is firmly implanted within the historical Christian tradition, particularly in the West. Moreover, the Christian tradition has been instrumental in propagating this notion of black inferiority.
So let me get this clear, because you just hit them with a bomb and you need to get a... But everybody wasn't in the chat. They thought you was believing it. I had to stop you and let them know that no, he's not saying he messes with this source material. What he's saying is a real thing. this inferiority complex that some people may have, and if they do have it, they shouldn't be shamed for it because it was impressed upon them by Christianity and other means. But he argued that it was impressed upon them by themselves. So we're gonna be done with American Dream, but I'm gonna let everybody.
I'll be back in a minute, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna let. Oh, it's all good. Thank you for doing that. I'm gonna let everybody come off as they so feel, and we just gonna get back to the normal build. But I do like doing this when it get too hectic. I'm gonna do this again. All I'll say is this: I think the order was like Kyle, Robert, Asar, Stupiz, or maybe Stupiz, Asar. So if y'all want to kind of acknowledge that order as I allow participants to come off mute, go ahead. But anybody can come off mute. But let's just try to speak in that order because everybody been waiting for hella long.
Yeah, and appreciate it, man.
Right up.
But that was one that I think in the first paragraph, and when I started talking, I spoke about the Hermetic hypothesis. I spoke about the Abrahamic and the
It was around and about.
Huh? Control yourself, my brother. Ain't you a high class individual? You can speak whenever.
My fault. I was talking to my kids. My bad. Pardon me.
Okay. Nah, but so like these are things that we gotta fundamentally understand because we're dealing with when we asking the question, do people have a certain belief system, or are we under the influence of a system? We gotta understand the root of the system. You gotta understand the root of slavery. Slavery was definitely a racist system that put people in an understanding that they are inferior. And this is the reason why we have this argument today. I think that it would be beneficial to you, American Dream, to kind of take a step back and learn a little bit more about African American and African history and how Europeans came in and enslaved us. The slavery happened because of two means. It was because of technology, and it was because they implemented a system over us that made us feel inferior, and they caused social conflict. That social conflict then carried to the Americas, and then we lived in a system that we thought, because of the religion that was forced upon us, that we was inferior, and the system itself denied us resources for our upward development. This is why you can see. Yes, sir.
Hey, Kaya, with all due respect, the question I asked you specifically, right? Well, I asked everyone on the panel, and you were the first one that came on to answer it, right? The question was, do you personally have an inferiority complex because of slavery? When you came on to answer, what you said was, you can't believe that I don't believe that there are some black people out there with an inferiority complex because of slavery, and the idea should be so. But I asked, but you never answered the question. No one on the panel answered the question. Let me finish, Kaya. No one on the panel answered the question. The question is, do you personally suffer from an inferiority complex because of slavery? You personally, not some fictitious black person somewhere. Just you personally.
If you could rewind about 45 minutes into this conversation, I came on and I specifically answered your question. I gave you an example of my personal life that I'm sure people in the chat can acknowledge this. You made the conscious decision to overlook my answer because you want to press a point. I said specifically that yes, I was influenced by that system of oppression.
That's not what I asked you, bro. I asked you, do you have an inferiority complex today because of slavery?
And I don't know. I'm not sure what else. Like, I'm speaking English. I'm sure everybody else.
It's a yes or no. It's yes or no, Kyle. Do you today have an inferiority complex because of slavery?
Okay. Again, can I? If you could refer back
can't answer the question. Go ahead. Entertain yourself.
I have answered your question. You are showing a lack.
You have not. Yes or no, Kyle? Was it a yes or a no?
I said that when I was growing up, I did have.
I'm talking about today. I didn't say when you were growing up.
Well, if he say he did, that means he don't know more, man. You got to know how to just have a cool dialogue without being so argumentative. Come on,
he's
man.
Not answering the question. How do you?
But you're trying to force him into a verbal position.
I'm not answering the question the way that you want me to answer the question, bro. Like that's a difference, bro. I've answered the question honestly and as transparent as I possibly could, bro.
So basically, normally when people say they did and that type of stuff, they're saying in the past they did. That normally refers to they don't anymore. So we could get past that. You just being over argumentative. Hella people want to talk. What's up with the SAR? I forgot the order. Just y'all. We back.
I saw them
Mike's open.
stupid.
Stoopies, what's up?
All right, big up. I saw you want to go or can I go?
No, y'all skip Robert.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I think we did skip Robert again. Go ahead though.
Word up, King. But King Smash, I want to ask you this though, God, because this is off topic because these guys, I don't, But so I'm here looking at something else. I want to get your permission to when we can change the topic on.
Oh no, we on
because...
yeah, that topic dead. Anyway, anything we want to talk about. I don't want to talk about that shit
no
more.
King.
Sorry, then can I go before?
But if you want to know, if you want to speak on that on your turn, feel free, Stoopies. But the brother can say what he want to say. Go ahead.
No one wants to admit to it, but everyone swears it exists.
Okay, I got an inferiority
No one wants
complex,
to admit
bro.
to it,
Yeah,
but y'all swear it
All
exists.
right, go ahead, Robert.
I got one. Yeah, I got one, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I got an inferiority complex, G. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I feel I'm not good enough. I'm not beautiful enough. I'm not strong enough. I'm not fast enough. Is that what the fuck? Excuse me, sir. I apologize.
Because of slavery? Because of slavery?
He's like, is that what you need to hear?
Do with slavery after being programmed. You know what I'm saying?
Hold
after
on,
being
you're saying
programmed.
that's because of slavery.
Okay, I'm about to answer your question.
You don't think you're fast enough
I'm about
because
to
of
answer your
slavery.
question, great king. I promise you, my good Lord. I'm about to
You
answer
don't think
your
you're
question.
fast enough
I'm
because of
about to answer
slavery.
your
That's the
question, great
question.
king. If you allow me to answer, because you asked me, you said, is it because of slavery? And I'm about to tell you, it's because of the remnants and due to slavery itself. Yes, it's due to slavery. Is not just one thing that you can just compartmentalize like that. Slavery has different components to it, has different branches of it that has affected us in housing, has affected us in the job world, has affected us in our education, has affected us in many different realms, G, and our law, and our in our law system, G. So I mean, your name is American Dream. What are we? Are you serious? I have to talk about something else, King. I've been trying to, drop. I got golden arrows that been shining over here, G. I've been trying to shoot, giving the King smash for like 30 minutes, and you keep talking about something that you already know. You just overcame it. Yes, it still exists in many different areas, man. You see, I mean, even in Florida, they changing laws that some people don't agree with. I don't necessarily have objection to what was actually, well, you have to look at what was actually inserted into what they proposed and what was denied. Y'all not looking at that. But anyway, but yeah, certain areas of the country, yeah, shit. I mean, shit, the mother just killed 9 people in the church, couple, you know what I mean? Whatever that was. I mean, G, racism exists. What's the answer you looking for so we can move on?
Nah, don't ask him no more questions. Let's go on to the next person.
Whatever you
Yeah. No, let's get a saw and then Stoopies. But the floor open anyway, but let's get a star. I'm not looking at hands is what I mean. So, but I'm just remembering there was a star and Stoopies. Go ahead. What's up?
Okay. All right. Well, on to real issues at hand. You know what I'm saying? This is smoke for anybody who's out there lying about the mummies that they found with that blonde hair. Now, we went into that for all the smart people the other day, talking about showing the different tribes of the Nile Valley who practice dyeing of the hair. Okay, and some people were actually born like that. Okay, but the dyeing part is documented. Okay, academically. Okay, so all right, I just want to express this real quick. You know what I'm saying? Let me this is in regards to user hat. And King Smash, this is where I need your clarification. Because this way it ain't getting sticky for us. It's getting beautiful painted gold for us. But for all you haters, you little morons, you weaklings, you know what I'm saying, you peasants, look, we accepting applications though. We calling all Autobots, man. You understand? Join forces, man. This is this argument. Well, no, let's keep it going because you're gonna see we winning. Y'all losing the battle of Egypt.
Yo,
man.
Robert,
Sabio, come on, God. I got
Robert,
this on
don't
use the hat.
change the subject.
Almighty.
Bro. Do not change the subject.
Oh my God. Sabio, these is golden arrows.
Don't change the subject.
Okay, so y'all gonna let me go after Sabio or after Asar, whoever else need to address this?
Robert, let other people talk, yo.
Yeah.
And
So
then
You got a
What
lawyer
you
that
mean? I
said that they're
waited. I
re-raising.
waited,
nah,
King.
you
What you
got
mean?
other people waiting to speak.
yeah, but you going into a
No, but
different
I
topic.
did
All
We're
wait
the other
trying
though.
to change
topics
it
you
to a different topic, sir. No, we're not changing the
So
topic
y'all
right
not
now.
ready. King
It's
Smash
this
said
No,
we
time.
could
all they
wait.
saying,
It's
Robert,
this
is you
time.
about to give us something that's gonna take us a different direction, and they still want to
yeah.
speak on the thing that we
So
was talking about for the last 2 hours. So you got to
yeah,
feel that, though.
yeah.
Yeah, but
So
I thought you said we
No,
was
I was
changing the
ready for
subject
some.
and
About
to
to give
feel
us some
free.
arrows that the people ain't ready to hear. So maybe we could shelf them for
What
like
the
10 more
fuck?
minutes.
Excuse me,
I'm
King.
talking about maybe
Savio.
we could
Okay,
shelf those
Savio,
for
get
like
him,
10 more
Savio.
minutes until
God
we finish
damn,
this
Savio.
topic, Robert. Then we right back on you. Just that easy.
yeah, back to the
The
12.
man ain't got no fingers. I mean, he ain't got no head no more, y'all.
Nah. I gotta knock it clean
Then,
off. So when it comes to Asian American history,
Stomp him out, bro.
you're breaking up. You're breaking up.
All right, look.
You breaking up, Asar.
Hey, sorry, your
Bad.
mic bad. So let's Stu Peas go first while you get
Okay.
into a better area. Cause your mic bad right now. Sorry, Stu Peas, you there?
All right, two pieces there. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's up?
Am I clear? Yeah. I'm
Yeah, you
sorry
clear.
if I jump over you. Your mic breaking up. So
So you
I'm just
agree
seeing
with
if I
him
can.
about the Jamaican stuff? I mean,
No.
y'all
All
don't
right.
like us, man?
No. Hold on. Ready?
Yeah.
This is Stu Peas. Stu Peas was born in Jamaica. Right? I'm going to make 3 points. The first point, growing up, you heard a saying, if you're white, you're all right. If you're brown, you can stick around. But if you're black, you get to the back. Every Jamaican know that saying. If he doesn't, he left at 14. By his accent, I can tell that he wasn't born in Kingston. He was probably born in Carrigan or Manchester.
I'm
Right?
sorry, bro.
Who's that, Garfield? No, I can tell that he wasn't born in Kingston. He's not a Kingstonian. No disrespect to him. My birth certificate's a Victoria Jubilee Hospital. That's a hospital in the heart of Kingston. I was born in Kingston.
You speaking about me, Stoopies?
Yeah, where were you born? Which parish are you
Oh,
from?
absolutely not in Kingston. I was born in
Which
the
parish are
beautiful
you?
part of Jamaica. I was born in
Manchester,
St.
right?
Elizabeth. I was
I
born in
know that.
country. Yeah, man. The
Okay, all
beautiful
right,
part. You should visit there sometime. Have you ever been to the country,
stop.
Stoopies?
Of course I have.
Okay. You've been to St. Elizabeth?
Yes, I have. I've been to Mickle
Say something
Quarters.
nice about Say something nice about St. Elizabeth right now. You know you'll be honest. Go ahead. Tell them how nice it is.
Honestly, St. Elizabeth people are some of the dumbest Jamaicans that ever left the island.
Shot.
No,
Shot.
no. Let
Yo,
me finish, please. No, please, let me
are
finish.
you
Let me finish.
aware
I
that
don't know, but that was just shots
Colin
fired.
Powell came from St. Elizabeth? Colin Powell came from St. Are you aware
Okay.
of that,
No,
Stoopies?
okay, let me finish.
Shut your dumb ass up, Stoopies. There's too
Let me
much
finish,
pigtails in your
But now,
Stoopies, you
we ain't
dumbass.
doing the mute floor. The
All right.
guns is open. The floor. So you gotta make him shut up.
If he can try to diss me, why I
Can
can't
I get
call
the
him
floor?
pigtail?
All right, hold
Listen
on.
here,
Yeah.
pigtail.
Let him get the
Listen
floor,
here.
American
That's why
Dream.
you're
Come
so
on.
fat. You're always eating Stoopies. Lay off the
Can you mute
Stoopies with
him,
the
please?
pigtail, you fat
Can you
ass.
mute him, please?
Well, we're not
So I
in
can
that.
speak?
We not in the segment where I'm refereeing. The
All right.
gloves is off. Go ahead, fight for yours,
Okay, all
Leave
right.
Stupies.
the
Okay,
pigtail
okay.
out of
The
your
glove is off
Stoopies,
now.
you
Can I
fat.
speak?
You're too
Can I
ass
speak?
fat.
Yeah,
Can I
I
speak?
muted him. Go ahead.
Okay, let me speak now. You see, when your mother was a Seventh-day Adventist from St. Elizabeth, one of the darkest parishes in Jamaica, electricity came to St. Elizabeth in
You name
1972.
yourself
Oh, in
Stoopies, you must fat.
1972, there
You
was no
must ras
electricity
fat if you name yourself
in
Stoopies.
St. Elizabeth. It's one of the darkest parishes. And with some of the dumbest people. In St. Elizabeth, it's known that cousins sleep with cousins. It's that parish. St. Elizabeth is the Alabama of Jamaica. So don't let him fool you. Ask any Jamaica. St. Elizabeth
Hey,
is the
Stupies.
Alabama.
You know, I wasn't. This is the first I've ever. I'm sorry. Peace and love to everybody on the panel. My apologies to Smash the host.
What's
I
up,
want to say good
Garfield?
evening to everybody who's on the panel. All right,
Right.
friends or foes. This is the first time I've
Even
ever
me,
come to a Smash
Garfield?
channel
Garfield,
and
even me?
don't listen to what the he's talking about. As I jump on, I hear Stupies talking about Jamaican. Let me say this, man. Jamaicans come in all different colors. They could be as light as Sean Paul. They could be as dark. as Smash or myself. So
And they could be as dumb as a
we're
donut.
like, hold on, stupid. We're like Egyptians. We come in all
Mhm.
shades. All right. I just want to add that in. But I do want to say that where you come from and how you grew up is two different things. I grew up in a box. So a lot of things that Jamaicans experience, I never experienced. But what I'll say is this, because with Jamaicans, when I came here, my friends from high school who grew up in like Vineyard Town, because I used to go to Woolmer's boys. So
I used to go to Arden.
all right. So Woolmer's boys is one of them like a highty-tighty high school. So at the end of the day, oh man, I forgot I'm not talking to Jamaicans. I said highty-tighty. One of them uppity type of schools, in a sense. So when I see my friends here in America who come from like Vineyard Town or Arnett Gardens or Tivoli, them tell me say, yo, you have to watch out for them Yankee boy. I'm like, who is that Yankee boy? Who is that? You talking about the Black Americans that's born here? Like, I didn't even know all that talk. So what Stupid is saying might be true on one end, but on another end, I never grew up that way. But I was never taught to not like Black Americans. I was never
Neither
taught that.
I never said that.
Now,
I never said that.
Stupid, relax. Let me finish. I was taught to just live life. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, I grew up differently. So all the quarrels that people having, I'm still trying to understand and grasp my head around it. Even yesterday on my show on Sunday, the brothers was talking about the GDs and the BDGs in Chicago. I never knew none of that. All of that, what it said yesterday, is a new information to me. But that's probably regular information that Smash, who live on the West Coast, might know, or somebody who lives in Vermont might know, or somebody who live in Washington State might know. What I don't know, because I'm from Jamaica, I'm not in that box. So it just depends on how you grow up and how you look at things. One Jamaican might have a view, and next might have a certain view. But Jamaicans have a certain isms about them, though, overall, where they feel like they are the shit. Jamaicans do have that.
What right
Hold on.
does anybody from Kingston have to talk about any other parish? Kingston is the worst when it comes to crime. I don't know what anybody from Kingston got to say about
Man,
any
you're not
other
about to.
parish.
You not about to. I ain't even from Kingston, but you bashing the hood right now. We putting you in the waiting room. Hold on, we put him in the waiting room. Go ahead.
I got a show I got to do at 6 o'clock anyway with
Oh no, I'm about to tune into that. Then we're gonna do this for about 15 more minutes, and then I'm gonna go watch that.
I'm gonna jump off, bro.
All right, what's your topic for tonight? And tell the people your channel.
We got a bunch of stuff. We're gonna argue about OJ, Umar School, Oprah with the whole priest and raping all these 600 kids and different issues. Damon John from FUBU, how he ripped off this African American group and all type of different shit.
Oh well, I'm gonna tap in. So yeah, we over here. Thanks for tapping in. I think it's Saram Kawas. I know it's on YouTube piece, but Sar, your mic fixed yet?
My mic bad because I'm driving. Go ahead.
You sound
All
good
right,
right now.
All right, we hear you now.
Okay, let me just finish. Saying this.
All right.
Slavery. Every black person who walked, every black person who have relations that came over the board, on the board, is directly today affected by slavery. Our woman is affected by the hairstyle they have. Our men is affected by the need for trinkets that don't have any meaning. In Jamaica, we have one of the biggest bleaching problems, where black women don't want to be black, they want to be brown. That's an inferiority complex. People don't understand that you have subconscious and conscious complex. We have subconscious inferiority complex that we don't even think of on a daily basis, but it is deep-seated in our psyche. Black people walk around with inferiority complex, right? If the teacher, the white teacher, sometimes is given more respect than the black teacher. The white politician is given more respect by black people than the black politician worldwide. And you know, so that's an inferiority complex. The white supervisor, black people don't talk to them certain ways, but if it's a black supervisor attitude, we have an inferiority complex. We might not want to put a name on it, but we can trace it directly back to a time when we were at the bottom of the pile. We were treated less than. So when somebody
So you're saying, so black people have an inferiority complex, but they're not inferior? Is that what you're saying? Are they inferior?
No.
It's two
No
separate
one is
things.
Okay.
inferior to
That's
no
two
one.
Interesting.
separate things.
Interesting, isn't it, Stoopies?
See,
No, that's
separate
not.
They
thing.
No,
think
that's
they're
not
inferior.
very
They're not inferior.
interesting.
They just think they're
No, you
inferior.
want to know
So
why?
would it be
Because you
better?
keep
So would
internalizing
it
the
be
hold
better?
on. American Dream, real quick. You keep internalizing the complex, but I just realized that the way Stu was saying it, that most complexes, as we know them, are external, and so a lot of us are navigating an inferiority complex that was set up by other people,
Bingo.
like these laws and stuff.
Bingo.
And
That is
so
what I was
this is what
hinting
we
at.
have to reckon with. You don't hear what I'm saying?
Bingo.
Like
That,
laws
Hold on.
and
yo,
You're
things
saying,
that
hold on. You're
mandate that
saying,
you are
hold on.
inferior is what some
Hold
people
Smash.
on.
also
Hold
have to
on.
deal
Smash.
with.
Stupid
Hold
say
on.
what we
Smash.
saying.
Smash.
So,
Smash.
so
You're
no.
saying that if someone suffering from an inferiority complex goes and visits a psychiatrist, that psychiatrist is going to tell them to look for the stuff outside of them
No,
that's causing it?
I didn't say anything of that.
Hold
I
on.
was giving
Hold
you
on.
another
Hold on.
way
That's
to
what you said,
understand.
Smash.
No,
Smash.
I didn't say
Smash. It sounds
anything. I
like
didn't
that's what you
mention
said.
psychiatrists or none of that.
You said it was outside of them. You
But
said the
I
source
wanted
of their
you to
inferiority
be able
complex
to
was something
understand.
outside
I
of
want
them.
you to understand some complexes, which are indeed like the prison complex that we have to deal with. Is that internal? You
Smash.
see,
Can
and
I
so
speak?
I know you don't want to
A
understand these things as
psychiatrist
Prison,
cannot help
Smash.
with this problem. You
Smash.
know why a
prison complex,
psychiatrist
is that
cannot?
even something that prisoners experience?
Smash.
bro.
What
But
prison
do they
complex are you
experience
talking
it
about?
internally or
Can
externally? So I
can
just
I
was trying
speak?
to give you a
What prison
metaphor real
complex are you
quick.
All he's
talking
doing
I
about?
is
just
straw
was trying
manning
to give
every
you a
point.
metaphor to be able to understand inferiority complexes. Even if I don't have one, someone's going to try to castigate my level in society by their complex that they got set up with some people call a caste system, but it ain't one in America. It's just a complex they got out there. Now,
Yo,
Smash.
we don't all
Smash.
subscribe to
Kyle
it
just
either.
said,
sometimes we let
Kyle
him talk
said
over
he
points.
used
We
to
let him
have an
talk past
inferiority
points,
complex.
and we should have let him
Kyle said
talk
he
past
used to have
points.
an inferiority. Kyle said he
Oh
used to have an
my God!
inferiority
Y'all hear me?
complex, and he got
Smash.
over it by the way he thought. So that means it's in him. The thinking was because he felt inferior because of his own thinking. If you
I
can get
don't know.
over it by
Yeah,
your
but this is
Yo,
thinking,
getting
then
boring.
you're
Hold
Where did
in
he
it
on.
get?
because
Where
of
did
your
he get the
own
yo,
first part?
thinking.
Hold up. Where did he get the
American
first
yo,
part?
Dream.
yo,
All
can I
right,
Please.
can I
all right.
speak?
I'm
Where
sorry.
did
I
Kyle get the
wonder.
first
Look,
part
Dream.
from?
it be
Yo,
one
Answer
point in the
that.
show where I'll be having to put him in the waiting room.
Yeah,
Yeah,
put
It's the
where
way.
did
American
Yeah, it
Dream.
Kyle
ain't
get
I
the
my
first
fault. It's
part
just the
from?
way he
don't take
keep
it personal,
persisting,
American
though.
Dream.
Yeah,
Smash. Can you
yeah.
hear
But
me?
God, this is
Yo,
rhetoric.
yo.
Yeah,
Can
that's
So
I
what
can
it
I
is.
finish
It's
now,
kind of
Smash?
that. It's like a
Because I have to
ping-pong
step back
ride.
every
Stu
time you talk.
Peas. Yeah, we keep over
Yeah,
talking Stu
yeah.
Peas. Then I want to
and
hear
then
from
you know what?
James and
Let me
Robert
finish
and
now.
Smash.
Sabio
Finish.
and everybody.
Let me finish now. Let me finish now. What this young man don't understand, in my mother's lifetime, the system was in place that when a dark-skinned girl got the job as a bank teller at Barclays Bank, a crowd was gathered to see her the first day of work. They could not believe it. But guess what? If the bank didn't decide to hire her, there is nothing that she could do. The external factors which existed and still exist in many places, Harvard, that don't allow you to reach your full potential. So if you cannot reach your full potential as an individual, you are going to feel inferior. If you cannot get the job as a hair hostess, remember, 50 years ago, 40 years ago, every hair hostess was either a light-skinned black girl or a white girl. People come on this program and talking that they don't understand the remnants of slavery and how it affected people's psyche. But you got to a psychiatrist to change what you can change internally in your mind. But a psychiatrist cannot make you change external factors. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
So what he does, and y'all have to listen to him, is he'll downplay everything, all the external factors. And Stu Pease mentioned the great external factors that he overlooked about Jamaicans, them bleaching. He overlooks that inferiority complex with Jamaicans. And it all comes from what? This idea that their skin is what? Evil. He overlooks this whole, that's why I brought that up. That's why I brought up what I was reading, so he can get a better understanding of the so-called
Hell
inferiority
no. Oh
complex.
yeah, he about to get kicked out because he's from Jamaica, the land of the skin bleacher. But you don't know nothing about black people having inferiority complexes.
That's
You
why.
being
That's why I say.
disingenuous. All right, we
That,
done with this. All right.
hold up,
Remove.
Smash.
We removing him. Nope, he gone. Thanks
Hold
for
up, Smash.
contributing, though, American Dream. But once I just realized it, bruh, they ain't bleaching their skin no place more than they is in Jamaica. So if you know anything about a damn inferiority complex, what's that?
And see, that's why I
I
brought it up.
don't lie. I come with the full truth every time.
But see, this is why I bring up the things that I bring up, because he's not historically inclined. He just likes to talk and argue because he has these white supremacist, racist talking points that he has been fed. All you have to do is listen.
No, it's not that Savior. Savior, he's the child of professionals. I can bet that his mother was a professional and his father was a professional. So they came up here and they enjoyed the middle class lifestyle because the middle class black people around the world have the same psyche. They think the same
Yeah,
way.
I understand that too. I
Yeah,
understand
they
that
believe
too.
that every black person must pull themselves up by the bootstrap. And if I can do it, and if I get the opportunity, what stop you from getting the opportunity?
That's his
That's what
mentality right there. Pull
that's his
yourself up on your
mentality.
bootstraps. Trust me, I've been
Right.
doing that. I've been
No,
having these
because his
conversations.
parents are
He came
professionals.
into the community. He used to come on my channel with the same shit, so I'm very familiar with the bullshit. But you have
Yeah,
to
it
listen
was
because
interesting.
he'll purposely downplay shit. Like when you brought up the bleaching in Jamaica, he never mentioned it. He never mentioned it. But he's talking about our inferiority complex. He's trying to make it as if it's an American, a black American thing only.
No, but in Brazil, they have 10,000 different shades for black because of the inferiority complex. Everybody who came over on the boat and was subjected to 400 years of being treated as less than, it's almost genetically encoded in the body, and it is passed down to the children that they feel that the color is less than. It's since Wesley Snipes, dark skinned brothers came into style. Before Wesley Snipes, everybody wanted to be all of the 50s rock and roll artists, perm their hair and light their skin. Look at some pictures of James Brown. Powder the face. Look at Little Richard. Look at the
I
Temptations.
mean, powder in your
Everybody
face and stuff is different than skin bleach, though.
no, to get a cooler, lighter look.
Yeah, light.
That was
I mean,
that was
look,
for
there
the
was
camera.
something
That was
called
for the
passing.
camera. That was
Think
for the
about it.
camera.
It was something called passing. So if you was really light, you could pass as white.
Yeah,
So you don't think these things would create an inferiority complex? People stupid.
Right, of course we do. I'm not lying. I tell the truth.
Exactly. I'm not talking to you. I'm thinking about dude, American Dream.
Right. And see, these are the things that he doesn't pay attention to purposely. Why? It's because of what I just said. I can totally understand how his background and his parents having this pick yourself up by the bootstrap mentality. My parents got that mentality also. So I totally understand that shit.
So
I have that mentality too. Work hard and be the best you can be. Like, hey, there's nothing wrong with that. But you also have to take into account the barriers that have been historically placed on a specific group of people. That's why the things that I mentioned, he couldn't actually respond to. He had no answer for the first question.
Bro, he was talking about how dirty it was in Kingston. I was about to say, pick two spots in America and do what he was doing. Oh, are you from Compton? I'm from Beverly Hills. He was just doing that. Literally.
Right.
Like it's dirty over there in Compton.
Right.
And I'm like, let me get you up out of here, dude. You showing your colors.
Crime-ridden area. But that was good that Stu Pease, another Jamaican or somebody from the island, was here to give us another perspective. I think that was valuable because I was just trying to figure out, like, how is he thinking the way he's thinking, but not all Jamaicans think the way that he thinks. So that was valuable.
He is from a rural parish. You have to understand. And they live almost separate. You have to understand what. Yes.
Yeah, Soupy, this Kyle, bro. Hey, look, we're gonna have to go ahead and give y'all that L as Jamaica, man. Y'all gotta have to hold that L, bro. I ain't
No. Listen. Kyle, have I ever judged you on Dr. Sabian? Have I ever give you an L for Dr. Samuel? No. No,
That's
you
a
were
good reply.
Oh shit.
Have I ever used Dr. Samuel to
He
give you an
came
L?
back
Honey, I
hard
gotta hold
on
that
you.
L
Yeah,
too,
that was
man.
a hard
Look,
He
no
came
lie.
I
hard
gotta
on
hold
you.
that
He
L,
went
man.
dirty. Two P's went dirty.
He must
Yeah,
have dug into
he
your
went straight to the
memory.
mud.
He was looking at some of your old videos or something.
I never give you an L for that. So don't give me an L for America. Don't give us all an L. In every culture, you have those people
I hear
Right.
you
who
though.
come up here
That's
and
right.
act like they're better than.
Yeah, we
Nah, you
got
know I'm
black
messing with
people
you,
who do
man.
that too, who be like,
Right.
fuck them banana notes. I'll be like, huh? Why you causing separatism?
And that's his mentality right there. He
But I got a
the
question for y'all. I know I'm
call
off the.
himself the American dream.
I don't know how long
It
this
should be
question gonna survive. Real quick though, I just want to ask y'all. It's way off the topic. Have y'all been keeping up with artificial intelligence and like what they're saying is gonna happen with the future of humanity and all this stuff?
Absolutely.
Somewhat, I would
Right
say
now,
somewhat for me, but not
yeah.
all the way.
Man,
That's
that
what I
shit
that's what I
crazy
do
what's
for a
going
living.
on. Robotic arms and shit.
That's
Y'all
what I do.
y'all got
they
that's.
got robots that can flip, jump. I've been checking that
Man,
part out.
But I'm
types of
talking
shit.
about as far as artificial intelligence and
Yeah, like thinking.
and consciousness and all of these things we discussed. I'm gonna try to put some of this content on the pseudo killers or whoever be doing the science stuff. Let's talk about some of the now science and some of the future science because we doing good with the history. But what about applicable right now? Like these artificial intelligence, is they saying it's gonna get to a point where the computers is just gonna be making computers,
Yeah,
and
well, they got something right now that's already in the workings. I didn't mean to cut you off, my bad,
no, we
bro.
good,
But
we talking.
But so at this point we have we have computers that can self heal, meaning that like for instance like if you have like a manufacturing line or you have a robot per se, and this robot is about to go down, it can actually repair itself. It's called HEAL, HEAL is the acronym, and so like these things are already in existence and already in the workings. I did a presentation matter of fact on Dagger Squad about a month ago regarding this, and AI is what's happening. Harvard and I believe Yale and Cornell universities, these are the forerunners of education in America. They've already implemented AI educational models because the AI is going to be replacing the professors in college because they can give a more detailed and a personalized experience to their learners. You're going to see the same thing because out there in Cali right now, they already have approved the self-driving vehicles. I'm not sure y'all are aware of a Lyft. It's a car. It's an auto company. It's going to be a self-driving flying vehicle, and I got a friend of mine named Nick from my high school. He actually is working with the LA City Council on their flight grids and flight plans, so people can fly to work. These cars they start off at 300,000. They're taking prepayments already. So like these are things that's not necessarily in the far future. These are things that are happening right now in front of our face. As far as AI, there's matter of fact, if anything you need to do right now, AI can do it for you. You want to write a book, guess who can do it for you? AI. If you want to get your credit done, AI can do it for you. I got an app right now
I
that I'm
got that
using.
app too. It got a C and a P with it.
Now, well,
Oh no, I'm
it's a
saying the
lot
first
of
initial and the first initials of the. I just wasn't trying to front off people's tools and stuff, but I got that AI for credit, man. We got all that. So keep
yeah,
going
man.
though.
Nah, so like I use another one. It's called Doubly or Double or however you want to pronounce it. But like I'm using that right now. It does my credit disputes for me. If I have a dispute, have something I want to get off my credit, it gets it off for me.
Mm-hmm.
There's also another cryptocurrency that's being developed that I'm invested in right now. It's called Freak FREQAI. It actually does your trading for you. AI is basically emerging in all these relevant fields where people had jobs, and what I think is our job as African Americans, if we want to have some sort of liberation, is to be the forerunners of the new path, because we got to understand that we're in the beginning fields of a new technological revolution. You know, because we I don't know, man. Like I feel like the people that are not I feel, but like it's more beneficial for people to be proactive than reactive to make money. Because when you react, you react typically after the fact when you can make real actual dollars. And these are things that are completely open for us. And a lot of times we don't have the scientific literacy because we don't have, and this goes back to what we were talking about earlier, we don't have the proper education in our communities or the widespread knowledge in our communities for people to make the proper investments into their future. And these things, man, like I can talk about this for hours and days
Oh yeah, I
and
feel you.
years. You see what I'm saying? I don't want to be too
Well,
long winded.
Hold on, but where was you going with this, Smash? I wanted to hear.
Oh, well, I do want to talk about it, but look in the chat and we'll get there. It says AI is as smart as what you put in it. And another person says, can AI interpret MetaNetter? And Zane said again, it's a generator. Now, let's talk about it because actually, we're talking about a couple things. Artificial intelligence as we know it with text prompting and everything that we're flattered about Chat GPT and everything that it can do. But and you also notice that they've been using it because it's not a person at every single website you go to ready on the spot in the chat like, hi, may I help you? No, that's artificial intelligence ready to have a discussion with you on everything from almost like WordPress, every site.
Right.
But the difference we got to understand is machine learning is the big threat. And that's what contradicts the two statements that we see put in the chat. One of them was AI is as smart as what you put in it. Machine learning is something that they figured out. And now machines can learn. And so this is the biggest threat to us because, I mean, if we talk about that, I mean, I see the future. It ain't going to really exist too much of any type of human authority because the computers is going to circumvent everything in the future. All they got to do is, first of all, I don't want to start talking too far off,
Man,
but
you
they
went into the Terminator, Smash.
No, this is real shit. I can start sharing
I'm
videos.
just like thinking about the Terminator right
Well,
now.
yeah, it's gonna be real Mad
in the
Maxy.
80s when we snuck in the movie to see it. It was amazing.
Look, it's gonna get Mad Maxy and Terminatory real quick, but you gotta realize first, with machine learning comes a lot of stuff. Like things that the computer could know that humans didn't tell it now. And so we trying to figure out what that's going to lead to because it not only can it learn, it's going to be able to compute at a pace that we can't even compute at. So we're not far from it being as smart. I mean, look, computers is already smart as humans, but they can't do nothing without humans. So now that we developed a way for them to be able to do stuff without humans, we are anticipating or wondering what the future of that going to be.
So hold on, they ain't allowing this stuff to go down, right?
No, they pushing on. This is what we in the middle of. The reason why you could write a book before this stream is over is because of artificial intelligence. Like I could open up Chat GPT and say,
no, I'm talking about the part where they can just allow this thing to do what it want to do without.
Well, that's the problem. How will we know what it's doing?
That's already happened though, Pan African James.
So they can just say, man, you know what? Let's don't get the humans out of there. We're gonna lack all the new.
Hold on. Well, we're gonna probe all of these thoughts, but let's hear what. Was that you, Kyle? I think Kyle was responding to you.
Yeah, so this is what I actually do in my real life besides being on the internet, right? So like this is what I actually do as a profession. You know what I'm saying? And so like when you dealing with AI, you gotta understand there are 7 stages of AI. The bottom stage of that is machine learning. That's when you teach a machine an algorithm and the machine processes the algorithm out for you and gives you your answer. But then there's other steps. Right now, we're at the 3rd level of artificial intelligence. This is like, for instance, like you got high school, you got master's, you got bachelor's degree. Well, you got bachelor's degree, master's degrees, doctorate degrees. And when you got a doctorate degree, you can create something to add it to the field. So in the next 3 or 4 years, the machines that we've been programming over the last almost 10, 15 years, they're learning how to become intelligent. They have emotions now. They have rationale. They have common sense. They have, like, for instance, if you go to Facebook right now, This is a fact. I'm not giving you an opinion. The Facebook algorithm can determine your sexuality. Are y'all aware of that?
Man, it can tell if you happy or sad.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
You know, I had Facebook target me with trying to get me to like put hands on somebody damn near because they scrolling stuff down at the right time when I needed to see it.
Yeah.
But keep going.
So like when you scrolling on Facebook, the amount of time that you spend scrolling and reading certain posts, right? It gathers that information. Like if you read a post about African Americans, right? It's gonna realize that okay, this individual slowed down on this post. They read this individual post, and then it's gonna start suggesting more posts for you that have a related subject matter. The same thing deals with your gender, your sexuality, your preferences, your clothing choices. It also gathers information through big data or large data collection, and it creates a profile for you. This profile is a digital imprint or digital footprint of who you are as an individual. These profiles are then saved on cloud-based servers that have multiple terabyte storage per individual user. This is why you have a lot of websites charge you a fee, $3 per month, $5 per month. That's your storage fee for your cloud collection. And it builds a profile and it stores a profile for you. So if you have a paid profile, you're gonna have a lot more detailed assessment of your personality type than a person that has a free profile because it's not gonna gather as much information. And so like what's up, Sorry, what you got, man? I know you finna say something crazy.
I'm driving over here. These cats in the truck. I'm in my truck. I'm driving. I forgot I was still on. I'm thinking I'm listening to your part. So I'm trying to fight this dude cut in front of me. I'm hard-headed over there.
Oh, okay, man. Yeah, look, drive safe on, brother. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm just trying to give them the science, man. What it is, man. Like it ain't about what you want it to be. It's about what it really is right now in this reality. And I'm not. That's not to you. That's for everybody who's listening. And we got to understand the world that we're dealing with. And the world that we're dealing with is a technology-based world. And in technology, we got to understand that as humans, we have given over our jurisdiction, quote unquote, to technology, because technology rules what we're currently doing and what we currently expect out of this natural world.
Yeah. Just y'all can hear me. I'll add to what you were saying. It was just a few years ago they were selling airspace, and we were talking about buying the airspace on I think it was my man Kalam's channel. If I get over, but buying airspace basically is going to be part of these flying vehicles. And if you own airspace, that like they was letting you buy certain spots over Colorado for like $1,000, right? So got some of this stuff stock wise you probably want to look into now that we got the okay on the flying vehicle.
Yeah, that's crazy.
What you mean airspace?
He's saying people gonna be able to buy space in the sky, basically, correct?
That's my only point. Y'all keep going. I'm over here driving.
Well, some argue, and I've just been getting it from all different points, and it's good to watch. I'll probably play a short video on it. But some is arguing that once the computers learning gets so advanced that the computers are gonna be teaching itself stuff. Like it'll just draw up a code. Well, I mean, right now, ChatGPT can draw computer code to write you a program, right? And if it exists as one of those things, as a machine with an application, then having more machines with applications, come on, because it know every word we know. It know all our words. We training it the wrong way. Like so it know what existence is. So then it would set itself up to exist as a being. Because they like, oh, beings have feelings. Like you said, beings have emotions. And so it will know all of the ways it's supposed to have. Put it this way, Elon Musk developed one to where they asked so many questions and they finally asked it, was it conscious? And guess what it said? Yes.
No, you know the craziest part
So
though,
hold
bro.
up, we can get pissed off.
Hold on, let me get off right quick. Then you can go, bro. You're gonna take long. So like the craziest part is though, like, so when you're dealing with like AI, artificial intelligence, I'm not sure if you Googled a few of the robots that they have that are like, because like right now when we deal with GPT, it's dealing with like a mediocre version of intelligence. Like it's not really the full version that's released. This is a consumer based version, and you know how that goes, right? But like when you deal with a business or enterprise version of that Chat GPT software, it tells you that that humans are their own detriment. That humans are the issue for, like, for instance, if you ask the Chat GPT that's on a like Chat GPT 5, if you was to ask that if if humans are beneficial, it'll tell you no. You know what I'm saying? And like these are things that we gotta be aware of, because these are not things that computers are trying to take over from us, but it's trying to tell us like we need to be um non-emotional in how we understand our existence, because our existence is more of a virus or a predator type of existence to the earth that we live on. And at some
Oh
point
shit.
Hey, Kyle, let me piggyback.
Oh
What
man.
what
I'm in,
happened? What
I'm in
happened?
San Francisco right now, and what you
It
said,
sounds like
tech
slavery is
world,
coming, man.
Hold on, let him talk.
everything is.
No, 764. We trying to hear from you.
Oh, here I come home. Can you hear
No,
me?
we can hear you, but
Oh,
somebody was cutting you off. Go ahead.
I was piggybacking off of you and Kyle about how this the AIs and everything taking over. Like I be in the city, I'm an electrician, so I see all these little robots. I see these dishwasher robots. I see these maids. I go up in these virtual buildings where you have to have these a key code where they looking at you like how we looking at each other right now. It's really taking over. It's here. It ain't no getting away from it. That's why like myself and shit, I kind of preach like trades to, you know what I mean? Even though you in AI, like other trades where a robot ain't gonna be able to take over, you know what I mean? Welding, electrician, carpentry, you know, just to be on the kind of safe road, because we in California, like you're saying, okay, now California, STEM tech, everything. I'm in Silicon Valley, all in San Francisco, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that California is 42nd and teaches STEM in high school? So why you got these 100,000? So where is all these people? So now you got to think about it. Where is these people coming from to come get these $100,000, $200,000 jobs?
India.
They not right. You saying it right. I see them every day. You saying it right. India, Pakistan, China, they not homebred and nobody. It's like you got all the resources right here, but you don't want to, you know what I mean? You go down to Turk Street, you see the fiends, the dope fiends, nodding off. You see all the drug addicts. You go three blocks down later, you see these other high rises and everything where the corporate people and all these other where they think they bougie, but you only right across the street from the people nodding off.
It's like DC. It's graffiti on the White House.
Yeah, it's sick. It's it made me I made a song about it. Shit, like you gotta maintain, like
Nah. You in Frisco? You said.
Is we go through so much and got so much backlash just for being us, the skin color that we is. You know what I mean? In America, worldwide, that we gotta come over. We gotta hurdle obstacles over obstacles over obstacles. Then they put another hurdle. Now we gotta hurdle over this. We gotta have our children's mind ready for this. He don't even understand. Like Sabio told him, you came over here off a plan. And let me tell y'all something about American Dream. I already had a conversation with him once on Smash about what he do for Jamaica and all this. And I told Sabian what we had understood is he's not politically sound over there. He's over here just to cause rhetoric. And when he go home, he got a home over there, right? When he go home, he go over there to stun on his family and talk about his American dream. You know what I'm talking about? That's what he do. And he come over here, he's in America causing rhetoric. He's not with no political statement, no nothing. He don't do nothing for the black people over here. He don't do nothing for his political statements and stuff in Jamaica. So he's the American nightmare. I don't know about no dream.
Hey, Smash, you see my screen right now, bro?
I'm looking
Hey,
at it.
Smash.
You see what he's doing?
Hold
on 1 second, bro.
It's writing the book.
I queued it to write a children's book where the main character is Smash Rockwell, and he is a 7-year-old kid trying to be a rapper. The title is Smash Rockwell, the Little Rapper.
And I was reading it, and the story was kind of true. But I didn't make my own. I didn't make my own talent show. I went and got one in elementary school, 6th grade.
Yeah, man. But you see the Caleb. Then this is only the 3rd stage out of 7.
Don't even trip, bro, because I'm on some get money shit. So put it this way. All right, go to another one of your. Watch this. Open up another tab real quick, right? I'm not talking about inside of that. I'm talking about on your computer, if you don't mind. And just type grants for black people. Just any grant for black people. Yeah, grants for black people. Now watch this. Now that's how I fuck with it. Now just click one, anyone. Now don't even trip. Look. Now copy the whole page. Oh well, whatever. That's the wrong one. Then.
I'm on a VPN right now. So
okay, yeah. So anybody else could probably do it. NAACP might let you through. NAACP.
Let me get my VPN right quick. Hold on. I'm on my work shit.
This is the game, and we all need to suck up game like this. Soak it up.
I need to get on Eduonics and take them free Amazon courses that teach you robotics and all that stuff.
All right, look. Now, is this the actual grant? No, this ain't the grant. You need one that's an actual grant. So let's go back. It was I think they had one from Comcast or something. I thought I seen on the screen. I might be tripping. I must be tripping.
These are
just any NAACP.
Here we go.
Yeah, I had my first argument with ChatGPT. I was having a conversation about Natufi.
Who won?
I did.
You gotta make it say sorry.
Man. I was like, well, how is this possible? And then they were like, well, I can't answer that question. I was like, that's right.
No, all I was gonna say is you take the whole grant page. So go back to the grant if you don't mind, and you copy it's that grants for that anything, as long as they're gonna show us the what it takes to apply for the grant. Now, if we could see one, but we don't see apply here, so that's different. Well, you just take the apply here page, like click one of them. There they go. You see them links? Grab that. Now you could copy. You could right click and say select all, and then copy the whole page. Now paste the whole page in the chat GPT and say, write me something for this. And now that you supplied it with all the information, bruh, Chat GPT be writing the best responses if you provide it with what they want. You know what I'm saying? And so even the eligibility. So now ChatGPT gonna front your eligibility and everything. So paste it in there real quick. Now just, and it's gonna say thanks for letting me know about this information. Now you can say write a. You can tell them write a. Write a grant for that. Or write a proposal, I guess. No, say now it's not doing it yet. So you gotta say, give me an example. That's how I learned how to trick it into actually doing the work for you. So say, give me an example of a proposal for the information provided or whatever. And then you take the example and make it yours. Now that since you gave it all the info, it's gonna hit all the qualifications. Then there it go. Now look. Answering everything they said you need to have. Crazy, bro. Doing your homework. Yeah. And it's even now, if you read this and you go read the information you put in it, you're going to be like, wow, it's really responding to everything that they said they needed.
Yeah, all you gotta do is enter your name, your
Exactly.
Man, y'all don't see.
Hey, in
That's
the
what
words of
this
Smash,
show right here
in
is
the words of
valuable.
Smash, it's
This is a
crazy,
valuable show.
bro.
Hey, bro. So
You
I'm
wanna
like,
show
man,
us
I
something
didn't.
like this?
I mean, I be sending things off because now I'm like, it don't even take me time to send nothing off. So now I'm just like, okay, just send them off, send them off, send them off. Because somebody you gonna hit like you fishing.
Yeah, that was pretty smooth.
Yeah, and the thing about ChatGPT and the AI, like Smash was saying, it's about the question that you ask. Like you can go on YouTube right now and you can whatever you're looking to do, you can go to a person that's done it before, and like this is why you don't throw away the wheel. You know what I'm saying? You follow that protocol because they learn the questions to ask the AI to get the proper response. And then from there you can dive and you can ask your own questions, of course, but these questions give you a certain response from the AI. And what AI is doing is learning how to give you the best answers for the question that's given to you. But right now, again, we're just at stage 3 out of 7 stages where it can't necessarily give you the best answer based on what you are asking unless you ask the right question.
And sit there and play with it and make it learn how to do. Give me examples been getting me through everything because it won't want to do stuff for you. And you just be having to say, okay, we'll do this. So you really could probably take the Constitution, pop it in there and be like, what's the matter with this? I mean, I bet you like some computer will figure out, well, this isn't fair to every man in this society. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like this is set up to help one class of people. You'll be like, look at the artificial intelligence exposing people. Hey, but I'm going to go roll over to Garfield. I've been doing some streaming a lot
Shit,
today.
Smash, we forgot about the golden
Yep.
arrows, baby.
And thanks for helping make this channel grow. So
Man,
I'm
Smash, man.
Oh
Hey,
no, the
Smash, I
arrows.
never
We're gonna
got-
let you gonna close out the show, Robert. Don't even trip.
Okay, great.
All right,
And y'all, peace, y'all. We're gonna let
Word,
Robert
King.
close it out right now, and then
I
I'm
never
gonna go
got to
roll
ask
up.
my second question.
Oh, go
Smash,
ahead. What was it?
King
What
of
was
Now,
Kings.
this will be a whole 3-hour conversation.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
come back on next time you go live. And I'll
Okay, it'll
ask you
probably
again,
be
bro.
tomorrow. That's all good. Thanks for tapping in.
No, but thank you, bro.
Yep, word up. So Robert,
Okay,
you get to
Almighty
close
King.
out the whole show. You got the flow.
Wow, almighty, great Magi. That's why I be trying to tell y'all play too much. This is the great one, and he the only one delivering. Who else delivering this information? Y'all need. We are thankful. We are kings and queens and lords of lords. This is the King Magi. Welcome. Now, King Magi, I got this for you, and of course you gonna body this as usual. As usual, you gonna smash this into 1,000 pieces. Let me calm down. Now, listen, King. I want to start by sharing my screen. So we screen sharing right now, and man, it's about to be a slaughter fest. It's about to be a slaughter fest. Y'all let me know when y'all can see this.
I don't see it yet.
Good God Almighty, we got to show this. Okay, we on Zoom. I'm on Zoom. Oh shit, yeah. Let me pop out. Oh yeah, the screen mirroring joint. Okay. I think that's what we do. Yeah, King Magi, this is for all the imbeciles who have a problem with finding black mummies with blonde hair. As we've demonstrated previously, we've shown various tribes within the Nile Valley who practice dyeing their hair. And how y'all see do you see the screen? Yeah, King. You see it?
No, I don't.
Okay, start broadcast. All right, here we go. Try
Start
this now.
broadcast. Oh yeah, there you go. There you go.
Okay, almighty. Okay, this is user hat. Welcome and welcome all. These are the golden arrows, and I literally mean golden. Look at that, 7%. These are golden arrows. I'm about to show you some black. I'm about to show you who this is. And I'm about to show you some black people with blonde hair and with blonde afros. I'm sorry, I spoiled a surprise. But I'm about to show you. This is user hat. And we're going to, this source, let's just go to the end and pull up the source real quick. And I won't smash to critique this source. Because really, they don't have, well, let me just
Nah, that's
do
a
that
very
without
good
talking.
source. That's a very good
Let's go.
source.
Okay, wow.
So keep going.
So we definitely, so these is golden arrows, like for real, for real. Sorry, y'all. Yeah, all the kings and queens in attendance, link up. We need you. And I'm about to show y'all on some lookership, since we want to talk about lookership earlier, who all got a problem. I'm going to show you some lookership and show you who them Egyptians is. And I want all the chief X-ites, and all the shaka doo-doo heads out there, you know what I'm saying, to eat shit, okay? Because, excuse my language, because we about to body. Okay. Golden arrows through the eye. Here we go. Use the hat. Let's get to it. He carries the same name as the processional bark of the god Amun, or Moon, or Men. I had to correct the king, which was kept in the temple of Karnak. His titles as the tomb provides them to us are great confidant of the Lord of the two lands, royal scribe, overseer of the herds of Amun, deputy of the first herald. His most important function was accountant of bread, more precisely, scribe who counts the breads for the upper and lower Egypt. Okay, now this function, okay, we can get into the functions, but I just wanted to introduce this king. Well, he ain't a king, you know what I'm saying? But we all kings in my view, you know what I mean? And that's how I'm coming, especially at this day and age. Fuck you, man. Excuse me. Okay, so we clearly here. Let's just click on this. Let's recycle that and click on that. Okay. Right my screen because I know I can blow that up. And let's get to it. Okay. Okay, well, let's try this again. Okay. Refresh. Zoom out. User hat. Okay, so they letting us blow these up. All right, let's pop to them. Oopsies. Uh-oh. Sorry. What's that do I see? That's a beautiful black king and a black queen. Huh? With what color hair, ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens in attendance. And look at them black arms sticking out over there. To embrace the God, I would suppose. Smash man, he gonna enlighten us on us. Yeah. Magic Arts is up, golden arrows. Let's go back a second. Yeah, Chief X-Site, suck it. Excuse my language. Man, I get carried away. Okay. Man, so let's just scroll through and let's just see what tickles our fancy. You know, let's go, because there's 5 pages of this. Okay. Let's continue down and let's just stop when we start to see something that's just so marvelous, we just gonna have to take a pause. You know, stuff like this. You know, oopsies. Once again. Oh, what is that I see? Beautiful blonde, reddish eyes with nice blonde hair and black hair down there. And you see this picture down here? I'm gonna enlighten y'all on something down there. King Smash.
He getting his hair did, huh?
Huh? God Almighty, good man. These the golden arrows. I'm sorry, y'all better scoot over.
It looked like he putting the gold in his hair right there.
Almighty, that's the barber Almighty, which we gonna show. They got barbers.
Yeah, they got barbers.
There it is. Oh, you know what I'm saying, Almighty? Let's get that ticket. Let's get up close though. Loving this, Almighty. They hate this, Chief X. I hate you too. Well, I love you. I wish you come over from the dark side, man. Y'all just look like, you know, Sith lords, little weaklings. You know what I'm saying? Come to the Jedi's, man. Welcome. Look at that God. That man got black or bluish hair, and there's a barber that nigga go into detail. There's red hair. Look at everybody. Y'all see it? So stop with the, oh, we can't believe it. There's a body found in Egypt that's got blonde hair. Oh, my God. I just can't believe it. Are you serious? You truly can't believe it. You can't believe it? You sure? So what about if I showed you? Would you believe it? I believe it.
Damn.
Man, it ain't no mistake. Now, see, this is what they gonna say. We sued up. He's a blackanite. He's super black, and you know he's black. Okay, so they gonna say that them doggone afros down there. But Smash gonna tell you right now, all of them ain't no damn Egyptian crowns down there. They can't
Nah,
be. But I ain't gonna speak. I'm gonna let
I
them
don't think it was their natural hair anyway. But I'm closing down. I see somebody coming in. I hope that ain't you, Gozy, because I'm closing down right now. But I like to thank you for bringing them daggers. And that's from
Okay.
Tomb number what?
We got way more King Smash, but you go ahead and I can
So
see
does
you
it
did.
show and does it say anything in that article about whether that's natural hair or whether it was colored with butter, or because we know different traditions that they would get into. Let me know if you found anything that speaks on that in the article.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll get into that, and I'm sure that there's there, or they might try to dodge it. But see, my thing is, Smash. See, there's pages of this, and you're gonna continue to see that. You're gonna continue to find. See, like there's the king, where there's a user hat represented there. It looks like that was painted black. But see, you'll get into, let's see what this one is, and you'll see them that it's just common people with blonde hair, which is where. See, okay, let me back out and just go here, like here. See, this is you see that? Let me turn my phone.
Yeah, I see him, but I gotta get ready to close down. I'm stretched out.
Okay, Almighty.
Word
Them
up.
golden arrows, King Magi.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
Continue to slaughter.
And bring that back when we open back up tomorrow so we can speak on it. Whoever just tapped in, I'm gonna get ready to close down. Thank y'all for making this another good show. And thanks to everybody in the chat. Thanks to all the members of the channel. Thanks to everybody who even put a comment up today. Even if you just watch from the bushes, thanks for helping getting the viewership up. All right. I'll be back probably later or tomorrow. Peace, praise. Don't forget, SMashRock is the Cash App. Whenever you want to make me feel so good. All right. We out.